Welcome to the Bungalow Sports Show. I'm your host, Cole James Rambo. This is Joey Blank Foster.
Hello.
What is your middle name?
Andrew.
Andrew. I've known this guy for a long time, and I never asked you what your middle name is. I think it's because I've asked so many dudes their middle name, and it's always been James, which is the same as mine. So I'm just like, fucking,
that's definitely a very common. Right? That's a common.
I like
name.
Andrew.
Yeah.
So you're like, I mean, even though Andy's not Andrew, he's Anderson. We'll just call you Joey Andy Foster.
Joey Andy Foster. I like that.
Or just call you Drew Foster. Drew Foster.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I should. You know, a lot of people start to go by their middle names instead of their first name.
Yeah,
and I think I should start doing that too.
Well, once you need a legit stage name.
Drew Foster.
Drew Foster. Hi, I'm Drew Foster.
Drew Foster.
That'll
nice
be when you run for office. That'll look good on a poster on somebody's lawn. You know what I mean?
Just like a giga, what is it called? Giga Chad? You know,
Drew Foster for district selectman. Paris doesn't have a middle name. It kind of freaked me out at first because everybody I ever known in my whole life had a middle name.
Yeah.
And then some of the people I knew, because I grew up around a lot of Mexicans, they have four fucking names, right? I mean, I know one of them, it's like a middle name, and then usually your mom's last name and then father's last name. But they had four names. Yeah. So it's like 3 or 4 names. You got to have 3 or 4. If you don't have 3 or 4, what the fuck are you doing?
No,
right?
yeah.
And then I meet her, and then she's like, I'm like, what's your middle name?
I don't have one.
She's like, I don't have one. And I was like, but it's like,
fuck, do I need a middle name for? You know?
Well, no, I break it up because her name. She goes by Paris, but her name is Paris too. So I'm like, no, your name is because you go by Paris, so it's just Paris to Rambo. Yeah. And I'm like, so now that's like, if she ever does, she never officially changed her name, right? Because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And it's just like a.
That's so woke of you guys.
Well, it's not woke. It's like I'm one of these people who's like, marriage is whatever.
Yeah.
Like once I make a commitment, it's like I don't need the government.
It's just
to
a
tell
piece
me.
of paper.
Not that. I mean, everybody's got their own view on what what marriage is to them or whatever emotionally and stuff, but it's just like the emotion that I had towards her and the connection that I had towards her wasn't going to change whether we actually had a ceremony or not, that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as you go along in your marriage, the more and more you regret spending all that money on your fucking wedding.
Really?
Oh yeah,
because I imagine you're in debt for the first
well, not even that, because her dad paid for the whole thing, right? And but he was also like, I will just give you $30,000 if you just get married in our backyard, right?
Wow.
And we're going to take it. Like me, again, I don't care. It's like if we don't ever get married, it's not like it's going to change our relationship in my eyes,
Sure.
But then, her mom guilted her out and things like that. So we got to do it for the family. And then
that's what it tends to be for, right?
15 years later, we're like, God, what could we have done with that 30 grand?
Right.
Because it's like, in the end, what was it? It was a bunch of people that were going to congratulate us on being married, whether it was in a backyard or not.
And I bet you, you didn't see half of those people again, ever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They're just on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah. Or you see each other at the next wedding or at a funeral or something, and yeah.
Well, speaking of my no middle named wife, it's Mother's Day, so I guess we should acknowledge that, even though this is a testosterone-filled sports show, bro.
Happy Mother's Day to all them beautiful mothers out there.
Yeah. Except for the bad ones. If you're a bad mom, fuck you.
I think we should give it to them too. They still went through the effort of birthing.
I don't give a shit. That's not what it's about. Anybody can do that. Any woman,
technically, they qualify as a mother. Any
woman with working anatomy can give birth. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all about what you do with the kid afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And as a father, I have perspective on that because as a father, you can bounce. You don't have to that's an option, right? And a lot of dudes do that. Do they get?
I don't know if that's
It's an option in
ethically and morally. I don't know if that's an option, but.
Well, no, but I was just saying in the universe of options for a guy, it's not growing inside of you. You don't have to get it ripped out of your insides.
I just don't want
once
to
you
get canceled.
drop a clip, you can bounce.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And does that guy get to celebrate Father's Day?
Yeah. It takes 2, dude.
Really?
Yeah, he's still technically a father, dude.
Fuck that. No.
I've been watching Shameless, you know what I mean? Frank's still a dad, dude.
No, he's not. Because you know what? When your kids end up being pieces of shit, they end up being pieces of shit for the rest of us in society. Not for you. You get to bounce and be a shitty father.
You know what's funny is that you just said his kids, so that still makes him his dad.
Well, I'm not. Yes.
Oh.
In like when we're talking about species ramming their parts into each other and creating life, yes, they are their mother and father. But I think the essence of Mother's Day and Father's Day was created beyond just the ability to make life, but to actually raise a life that
above the ability to procreate.
You know, if you're out there trying to, your kid doesn't need to. I'm sure there's a lot of mothers out there that are great mothers. They got mongoloids for kids. You know what I mean? And it's just, there ain't nothing you can do. But as long as you're trying, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But this is a sports show. So we can talk about that. So check this out, dude.
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm very happy with kind of the response for our first. I'm going to call it the first episode because the first one when I was solo, that was just pilot. That was just me trying to kind of figure out what I was going to do. And then obviously brought you in last week. And the response has been fantastic. Much more than I thought it was going to be. The network's happy. Everybody at Peak One seems to like what we're trying to do here. And, you and I are always going to try to be better and better at what we're doing. But now I think it's time to challenge the viewers / listeners.
Okay.
All right. If we can get Peak One Sports to 100 subscribers right now, we are under 100. If we can get them to 100 subscribers, we need to do some kind of a reward, some kind of a challenge between Joey and myself, some kind of a, like, in the vein of like something sports related. This is a sports show, you know what I mean? We're not gonna like chug a gallon of milk or something.
I was gonna say like Bob Prapples or something.
Yeah. But I mean, we can add it in. I'm thinking more like in the vein of like a punt pass kick, maybe not punt pass kick, but like a leveled little challenge that you and I can go up against each other. I was thinking maybe because like we talked mostly about hockey and MMA on this show, at least for now till football starts. But maybe we can, because I have access to an ice rink, right?
Okay.
Like we could go out and we could hockey fight each other. Or have like a shootout, and then like we could like go and put some mats down on the grass, and we can have them fight a jiu-jitsu match or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and we'll film it and we'll put it out on the show.
Yeah,
but only if you can. It might take a while.
Yeah.
So we got some time to think about this.
Yeah,
but let's. Hey, everybody.
And if you guys have an idea,
right? Do we still call them Bungalow Babies? We have to, right?
Well, we're the Bungalow Sports Show.
This is the Bungalow Sports Show.
The Bungalow Babies.
So if you're new to me. If you're new to what I do, we used to have a show called the Bungalow Chat Show. Joey was on it all the time. And we refer to the listeners / viewers as the Bungalow Babies. But we're still the Bungalow Sports Show. So
that's right. So you are
Babies?
Bungalow Babies.
All right, babies. All right. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah. And thank you for the support, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
It was amazing. Like,
it's nice to see some comments. And always, this is sports, right? Everybody's got an opinion. I'm sure if you're listening, we didn't go hard in our opinions last week because we were just, we're feeling our way through this show. Once we get a little more confidence, we'll start talking some more. We'll get a little
some more.
We'll pretend like we, have a lot more confidence behind our picks and our opinions. But I'm sure there's people out there who disagree. Get in those comments. Tell us we're idiots. Tell us. I love positive comments, obviously, but
negative ones.
All comments on YouTube matter. Yeah. So get on there and tell us how wrong we are. Tell us how we don't know shit. Yeah. I love it. I would love to. And I don't have a whole lot better to do when I'm not on this microphone, so I will converse with you. I will. I love sitting in my recliner, leaned all the way back. When I go all the way back in my recliner, I refer to my family. I tell them I'm upstairs.
Oh, yes, how it is.
I'm going upstairs. And then when I'm there, and then like Andy's like, Dad, can you make me some chocolate milk? I'm like, hold on, let me come downstairs. And then because like the recliner, it's like a wireless one, and like, you can charge a battery, so it's not super fast.
Okay,
so it's slow. I'm like, I'm coming downstairs. I'll go upstairs.
That's awesome.
And I will reply to every comment if I have to, if it means you guys will comment some more stuff on there. But
that's hilarious.
But yes, we are happy. I was happy with the outcome of the first show. We're always striving to do better, but let's blow this thing.
Let's go into it, man. So what are your thoughts on the week?
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give a little update. This is going to be a weekly update from now on. I decided, and I'm going to try to get some in-depth interviews with some of these players, and that is the loosey-goosey Dirt League ice hockey team. All right, because this is a big week for us coming up. All right, we snapped a 2-game losing streak last week. Came out firing. We won our first game. We lost our second 2. Mm-hmm. We won last week. We're sitting 2-2. Our schedule is recycling now, so we're gonna play. We get a chance this week to avenge one of those losses.
Nice.
And if you've ever played adult recreational sports, anything besides softball, really, mm-hmm. you're going from like 4 to like 6 teams if you're lucky, right? In an adult league, right? So that usually go like 2 or 3 times through the schedule before playoffs, mm-hmm. and everybody's really evenly matched, So like this is our chance. If we can go on a run here after a slow start, we can go into the playoffs with the first seed.
What was your score against these guys in the last game?
This last game, I think it ended up 5-2, 4-2. Something I can't quite remember. I had an assist.
So they kind of blew you guys out of the water, huh?
No, we won.
Oh, I meant like against this next team. Like what was the score for the last game?
Oh, this one we're coming up?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, it was only a 1-goal game last time we played these guys. I want to say it was like 6-5 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
One of the guys called our goaltender Kana. He called her a cunt. We saw that later on footage after because she wears a GoPro, and so that might throw a little bit of extra motivation into the Geese this week. So isn't it weird? It
is.
Isn't it weird that you have to deal with that shit? And like,
it is. And she's like 4 feet tall. You know what I mean? And she's just, but she's a little honey badger, dude. She's crazy.
But I mean, as a goaltender, you kind of gotta be because everybody's always up in your face all the time, and especially when you're like as short as she is, mm-hmm. they're just on top of her, trying to push her down half the time.
And I've never had a bad interaction with Kana, so it's always just interested me how many people can like.
I have.
Have you?
When I played against her and she was skating out and she was playing defense, she bruised my kidney with a cross check. Okay, Kana, if you're watching this, I'll never forget. Was standing there, just trying to do my job as a forward and screen the goaltender, and then all of a sudden, bah! And she gets some weird force behind it because she is down low.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like her hands are low like a normal person just jabbing you. She's got her full body weight behind it because her stick's got to be at eye level just to hit you in the kidney. And
that's so funny. I never knew about that.
And she's much. I could understand calling her the C word if she was skating out against you. But as a goaltender,
when you hit her in the face, right? Because she got hit.
Oh yeah,
he like elbowed her.
It was shit gets rough in the Dirt League. But yeah, loosey goosey. Hopefully, we're gonna keep a winning streak going this week. All right, and maybe I'll have some I'll have some exclusive interviews maybe for next week's show.
He's like, like I said, we just got to show up. We got to play the puck, get them deep.
Well, so I on my TikTok feed, a lot of these. There's like I don't remember. It's like a lot of different colleges are doing it now, where it's usually women's track, where it'll be like, "Hi, my name is Kelsey. This is me before my race," and then they'll be like, "This is me after my race." Like they're just tired, and fucking sweat about it. So I was thinking about doing some interviews like that, of like pick one guy on the team, interview him before the game in the locker room, and then interview him.
Throwing up afterwards.
Or interview them after, and maybe bring my phone to the bench and get some footage of them skating, and then cut that, and then the after interview afterwards.
That's hilarious.
So we'll see I'll try that this week, and we'll see how pathetic it looks. If it looks cool at all,
I think it'll be great.
We'll talk about it next week. All right, dude. Let's get into some professional sports.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I saw a headline this week, and it's something I've thought about for a couple years now because it's been happening more often. It's like another NASCAR driver fight, right?
Right.
And of all the sports, right? Because you got baseball, right? You got your bench clearing brawls in baseball. Sure. You've always had those. Lately, you've been having golf guys, especially since the PGA and the Live Tour have split. And like you've got a feud there because you've got the PGA guys that are like, well, you guys are just going there because they're giving you all this money. like the PGA is what you dream to be in your whole life, and then it's also like you're taking this goddamn terrorist money from fucking Ben Salman over there, like is he giving you the money in the same duffel bag that Jamal Khashoggi's body parts were in? Like, that's the way I feel about it. I'm not a pro athlete, but I'm just like, you are a multi-millionaire playing in the PGA. So now you just, for more millions, you're going to go take this blood money, because I have no loyalty to the PGA.
Right.
I just moral, like we were talking about morals about things earlier. I don't even put myself on some kind of moral high horse either, but it's like, if I was broke and fucking Mohammed bin Salman offered me $50 million to come play golf, yes, I would take it.
I feel like, but we're different, right? Because we're different. We're different. No, I'm saying because when you're making millions,
we need a drop for that. We're different. Just one button for you over there when you disagree with me. We're different.
I love that. That's a good idea. New T-shirt too.
Anyways, go ahead.
I forgot where I was going with this.
When you have millions,
you have millions, you're spending millions, right? Because you're not living in a normal house, you're not driving a normal car, right? What you're drinking too, right? That's a big thing. What you're drinking is different too. So what you're spending your money on, you need those extra millions in order to keep up that lifestyle.
When you're talking, are you friends with Phil Mickelson?
I'm just
because he definitely took it because Phil Mickelson has some gambling problems, right?
Hey, that's true, right?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But when that is also a choice, is what I'm saying. You can make that money and not outspend yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, look at I don't live in Taj Mahal.
No.
I don't. You probably make more money on paper than I do, Joey. It's all about figuring out what kind of lifestyle you want to run, figuring out how much money that costs.
Yeah, budgeting and stuff and doing all that. That
also becomes a choice. So just because you're living above your means and you make $10 million a year as a PGA golfer, doesn't
if you're making $10 million as a PGA golfer, you're not going to live in a studio apartment in the hood, bro.
Well, not in the hood, but it doesn't take $100 million to live in a nice apartment. You got $10 million.
You want to move into the nicer areas.
You can literally live wherever you want.
I'd be living in like Beverly Hills or something next door to fucking
you'd be taking
Sylvester Stallone.
You'd be taking that money.
I would 100% take that money. Even if I wasn't, if he was just like, if I was an up and comer and he was like, hey man, you want to, he's like, I got a sweet 25 piece for you. Sign me up, bro.
Okay, no, I respect it. I'm just saying, it doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit.
I'm just saying.
So
I follow the money, man.
That being said, we've had a lot of golf scuffles lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always funny. Golf scuffles are funny because golfers. I mean, there's a few like buff dudes now out there, but a lot skinny, if I'm gonna have to fight a pro athlete, I'm making a golfer.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I was looking at Tiger Woods, even in his prime, because he's still really good, but even in his prime, I could take Tiger. You know what I mean?
And that's what I mean. So
yeah.
But these NASCAR guys, it's always funny to me because they got to go through the whole rigmarole of climbing out of their car.
Yeah.
Like they've been in there for 3 hours. But the first move they make is to go run over and punch this guy who cut him off 2.5 hours ago on turn 13.
Right.
And it's just funny because you know what it all comes down to in my mind? You're all just copying hockey.
Yeah, 100%.
You know how you guys think you're cool for going and punching a guy after a race? Well, do it during the race.
Yep.
Pull over. Get out.
Do the pit maneuver.
Road rage NASCAR, dude. Get out. Yeah. Whoever wins gets like a 30-second boost on their time. Or
there's like a button that you press to like initiate fight, and then the next person's like confirm, so they both pull over to the side.
Chiefs have to work it out on the side. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You just hear him driving. Yeah. Terry, hit the fucking button. I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, Jerry. Hit the button.
Wait. On the next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, now. Hit
the button, Jerry. Yeah. They're just out.
You're gonna let this guy get away with this?
Yeah.
Handle your business.
Yeah.
You're laughing at us right now.
Yeah. It's his guys out there bitching. It's like,
dude.
This guy's riding my ass. Where's he going? It's more important than I'm going. That's what I think.
Hey, buddy, we're all going the same direction.
Do you have those same thoughts on the road? Like when somebody's like really trying to pass you, and you're not going that, you're like just going normal speed or even kind of fast. You're like, where are you going? Why? How selfish are you?
Here's how messed up I am: is I'll pull up to the back of like a big rig or something. Like I'll try to match the speed of another car just so this person can't get around me.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because then you start getting offended, and you're like, no,
I'm like, wait a second. It's like, dude, I'm already going 72.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Somebody shot bleeding in the back of their car. You're like, you know what? You're not beating me to Sprouts, bro.
I'm that 2 minutes that could have saved their life, you know?
All right. So another thing here that I saw, we kind of text back and forth about this earlier this week, was Mark Zuckerberg winning a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Yeah. He got gold in a gi bracket, and he got silver in a no gi bracket, right?
Which kudos to him, but
the little bit of controversy is that in one of his matches, he argued and forced the ref to overturn a submission loss to a 0-0 draw. And
wow.
This is something that's a little dubious to me, because if it was a points loss and he was arguing you gave this guy points and I didn't roll, or blah, 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 and then he reverses it to a draw.
That's one.
But how do you argue getting tapped out? A submission loss means he tapped out.
But here's the thing,
or
it worked though.
Joey's back on his Khashoggi tip, dude. No, you're Ben Salman. Joey Ben Salman over here.
I'm just like, it's like, is it more of a question?
Goes, bro.
Is it more of a question of Mark Zuckerberg's character, or more of a question of the referee's character?
Oh, for sure.
Who allowed the verbal judo to disarm him and say, you know what, you're right. I guess we do.
And now, but then you got to put your conspiracy hat on, and it's like, was it verbal judo in the moment, or it was beforehand? Zuckerberg's like, hi, this paper will give you 10,000 shares of Meta if I happen to tap out and give up in my match. Just make sure that I don't lose. I will argue, but not hard. Like, and it's just like, did they talk about it beforehand? Like, if I tap out, I didn't tap out. Okay.
There was a fly I was trying to swat off the,
come on.
Yeah.
Hey. So I don't know. Hats off to you, Zuckerberg.
How long did it take him to lose? Did you go that far?
No, I didn't find any footage.
Sorry, how long did it take for him to?
I have no interest in that.
No.
It's like
it just would have been funny if he got like bulldozed in like the first couple of seconds, and he's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I need to redo, please."
Right. Excuse me.
I wasn't ready.
I'm sorry.
I'm still wet from my morning surf.
Can we have a match in the metaverse? But yeah, he's been I guess he's been super into jiu-jitsu since the pandemic.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu, and I think he says he surfs every day too.
Yeah. And he was on like a couple weeks after he did a Rogan episode, and he had talked a lot about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Then he Dana White allowed him to buy out the entire Apex. UFC had an event, and they have a place called the Apex Center that they started up during COVID so they could have events without crowds and things like that.
Right.
And they still do a lot of their fight night, like the lower cards, that's not really worth going to an arena for or whatever. Sure. They do them there. And it's a small place. They have area 4 crowds now that people can be in there and stuff. And a lot of times it's exclusive, people that won. Here's a little box. You go and they win UFC contests or whatever.
Oh,
they can
cool.
Yeah. Different shit. Industry people. I don't know how it works if you're in Vegas, if you can buy tickets or whatever. But one of the events, he just let Zuckerberg and 3 other people. Nobody else is allowed to come.
Just them, huh?
And it was so it's already a weird experience to watch it because there's no crowd really. Even a small crowd, it's weird. It's like you're in a high school gym watching professional sports.
I liked it though because you could hear the hits.
Oh yeah, no.
It was...
If you're a nerd about that kind of shit, you hear the coaches more. You hear the fighters. It's definitely a different experience.
Yeah.
But then to have literally no one there, but a couple nerds.
Yeah.
And Dana White, and it was just
go for an Imanari.
But in my opinion, like, people got up in arms about it, and it is what it is. I know where you fall on that. Fucking money. He's got the money.
We're
He
different.
He can do whatever he wants. He got that money. But, like, I always think about it for the fighter's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because even a fight night in the UFC is a big deal, especially if you're on the main card, your main event, and then you get the Zuckerberg card.
I mean, it was still
Where nobody's
televised, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah, but when you're in the moment,
Yeah.
you know, that's a big deal.
Sometimes you need that roar of the crowd to finish the person.
Better.
You know, no, I get it.
I'm sure some fighters fight better with no noise, and it's more like you're in practice. You know what I mean? Like,
could be, yeah.
I think that helped actually.
I think it gets you a little bit more focused. You know, you don't rush in because you know, once that crowd starts rolling, you want to immediately run in. And
so you heard it here first, Zuckerberg. Joey is fine if you just want to tell Dana you want to rent out the whole Prudential Center.
Actually, I think
no seats.
I'll roll against you. Zucks. It's been a long time.
Versus Joey?
Dude,
okay.
It's been a long time, but...
Versus Drew Foster.
Drew Foster
versus Marky Zuck. In a no-gi combat
right,
in my backyard.
Yeah.
No, we'll put you guys on a pool float.
That'd be hilarious.
I feel like I need to build a little
stand for yourself. Yeah,
because like I don't want to put it here because it's like ugly Starbucks cup in the video, you know. But like if I just had like a... Maybe I'll make like a little fold down little flap to hold my coffee.
I was just about to say that actually.
That we're professionals. See, during the show, you know, I'm thinking about all this cool sports stuff we're talking about, but I'm also thinking about where to put my coffee.
We're different.
I got to make that button now. We're different. Yesterday was kind of cool. Had a few sports things going on yesterday, but one of them, the XFL.
I was surprised when I saw that on the schedule. I was like, that's interesting.
I'm an OG XFL bad boy, okay? Back when it first started, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, whatever it was, when the WWE started it, when Vince McMahon started it.
Right.
They were still called the WWF when they started it. I'll never be okay with WWE.
No?
Never.
Why not?
It's WWF.
Oh,
okay. Fuck the World Wildlife Federation. It is the World Wrestling Federation.
I thought you were going to talk about just like go into this whole rant about how wrestling isn't real and all this stuff.
No, I'm a fan of I'm a fan of kayfabe, bro. I keep it kayfabe. So back when that started, it was the year that the original XFL started. Was the year they built Pac Bell Park, the Giants stadium. Yeah. And people were up in arms because they let the XFL play. We just built this so we didn't have football played on our baseball field,
right?
So we could split up the Niners and the Giants. And now you're gonna let Vince McMahon bring He Hate Me up in here, dude, right? And they were the San Francisco Demons, I want to say, is what they were. And me and my dad went to a couple of the games.
Oh wow!
He got tickets. I don't know, maybe from work, maybe or for something.
One
or
of them on 104.1, dude.
And I just remember going there, and they had hot tubs in the crowd and shit. And
no way!
It was just like a little experience. You know, I haven't been to many even like NFL games. Like as a kid. I don't know if I've talked about it on this show, but like the reason I never fell in love with football until I started getting into fantasy is because my dad's a Raiders fan. So like I grew up a Raiders fan of that pessimistic, like, and he's not the Raiders fan who's always like, fuck yeah, Raiders, like everything is good, everything is Raiders, fuck the rest. Like no, he was like, this sucks. Like the one Raiders memorabilia he has in a garage is a Oakland Tribune sports page cover of Rich Gannon sitting on his ass handing the football to a ref, and the headline says "We are losers," right? Like that's the Raiders household I grew up in. So I'm like, this is torture. Like, why am I gonna follow this team?
Right.
That does nothing.
When people at work are like, you know, when they're very pessimistic or like it just seem like they have no hope, the first thing I ask them is if they're a Raiders fan. 9 times out of 10, it's there's a strong correlation.
So as a kid, I don't need to follow this. I'm not even into it yet. So I kind of pushed away from football, and then that's when the Sharks started in the early 90s.
Yeah,
and then that's
like I'm already sad enough.
Grasped onto them, and it took 30 years, and now I'm in the same spot my dad was 30 years ago with the Raiders with the freaking Sharks. But that's my burden to carry. So growing up, I only went to a few Raiders games, and then we went to that XFL game. you know, and so I'll always have a soft spot for the XFL. I love that they let guys put their nicknames on their back of their jerseys.
Yeah.
You know, I was a big proponent of Ocho Cinco, being able to put Ocho Cinco. He had to change his damn name to get it on the back, though, which is BS. It's like,
Chad Ocho Cinco.
let him put whatever they want on there. Like, people know him as Ocho Cinco, so just let him put it. No, he had to go to the courthouse and change his name to Ocho Cinco. So XFL, you know, like I said, he hate me, dude. It said he hate me right across the back of his jersey, dude. And like, also best nickname ever.
Yeah.
Like, and he had a cup of coffee in the big time after that season, that inaugural season in the XFL.
Cup of coffee in the big time.
But yeah, they're back. I believe The Rock is like part owner now. Like,
something like that.
And you know what? It's much less of a spectacle as you could imagine. As the WWF version of it was more of a spectacle with the nicknames and the, you know, just hot chicks everywhere and like, you know, really like flamboyant jerseys and stuff like that. The new XFL is definitely more NFL, like trying to make it more of a
more professional.
I don't know if they would take offense to saying like a minor league, but that would be nice to have a place where people who didn't make it straight from college into the NFL that maybe need a couple more years of development, or people who are good football players and deserve a chance to make some decent money at it if they aren't good enough for the NFL, but there's a landing spot that's not the CFL. There's the, you know, there's other American sports organizations that are high level football that they can still, you know, make a decent.
That's something that's kind of funny because when it comes to like the WWE and stuff, if you look at these guys, a lot of them are former Division I, you know, or NFL, even NFL
that's
players.
That's what MMA is like becoming a landing spot now too, because that base, that lineman kind of wrestling style balance and base and stuff like that, it lends itself to grappling and stuff like that. So, and then just being athletic lends itself to being in the WWE, and they've got good physiques. They're already used to working out for a living, you know. So
that's right.
But here's a place where they can keep playing football. You know what I mean? Like, because that's another thing is, as dangerous as football people consider it is, being in the WWF is way more dangerous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, so it's like rather than going and trying to be 300 pounds and do a backflip. Maybe I can just go keep leaning on guys for a living. You know what I mean? And playing the sport that you like. And if it's on freaking TBS, you know, it's on TNT,
televised. You have the ability to become something bigger than what you are.
And the thing I like about it too is that they go to a lot of the cities that have these teams. They don't have a there's so many cities in this country that are decent sized cities in states that don't have professional sports because one city in the state usually, other than California because we're so big, but you know, there's a few states that are big, so they have a few.
We got to get Stockton to get the XFL.
Something, right? Sacramento.
Well, no, they lost the Heat, right?
Well,
they lost the
on
Thunder.
My
they lost
Madden
the Heat.
franchise. As an owner, I just want to let you know that I have moved the Washington Commanders to Sacramento as the Sacramento Condors. So it's in the works.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad.
But speaking of Washington teams, the DC Defenders were one of the teams in the championship. They were up against the Arlington Renegades, so like Arlington, Texas. A sports town because baseball.
Propane accessories.
That's right, dude. But they get a team, right? And this is poor Washington, D.C. They cannot catch a football break, right? Because first you get the Redskins. You get Dan Snyder buys the Redskins. He's the biggest piece of shit on planet Earth, right? Yeah. Gets into a bunch of trouble, gets John Gruden fired, probably rapes some cheerleaders or, you know, facilitates it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, sends them to Jamaica and steals their passports. You know what I mean? Like, does all kinds of creepy rich guy shit.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, they got to change the name, right? Which is fine, right? I'm fine with that these days. You know, I'm not one of these guys who are like, your grandfather in it. It's like, no, if people want to change the name, just fucking change the name. It's just a name. What the fuck does it matter, right?
Right.
And Redskins is kind of fucking offensive. And, like, most people who are, like, anti-name change, like, it was a different time type people, like, they say, well, Native Americans don't even care about it because it's representation. It's like, yeah, but you cannot call... It's like, we're not going to have a team called the Houston Black Guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you could be the Chiefs. You could be the...
Blackhawks.
There's plenty of Native American-based names. The Seminoles. The Florida State Seminoles. The Tribe. it has ownership and like they love it because like that's the name of their tribe. It's not offensive. Like you can make an argument for one of those type of race-based names or whatever, but not the Redskins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like dude. You know, when I watch Peter Pan, dude, like
what makes the red man
get so pumped when What Makes the Red Man Red comes on because I'm like, seriously though, what makes him red?
Once you brought it up, that's all I was thinking about. Just what makes the red
I just
man
watched
red.
that new remake, the new Peter Pan and Wendy. That's on. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
They didn't do that song. But yeah, so they do the name change, right? Which is an opportunity to possibly have the coolest name in all the NFL because the world's your oyster,
right? You choose whatever you want.
Nobody's gonna hold you to any specific subject now. It'd be nice if it was based on your area, just like most places have a name that's based on the area they're in. So you've got politics, you've got military, you've got a lot of things Washington D.C. represents that could, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't it have been a real, like, ball swinger if they were like, we're the Washington President and Chiefs. Commander-in-Chiefs, no.
See,
but they did! Yeah! I bet you Dan Snyder wanted to call them the Commander-in-Chiefs, dude, but they just ended up with Commanders.
Just go with Commanders. Commander-in-Chiefs is
He's like, we're going to be the Washington Presidents. You know what I mean? Which would be better than Commanders.
And then
honestly.
I just imagine he like Googles like synonyms for president.
Right. There was so many like options thrown around. The Red Tails or Red Hawk is like
that's an old ripping team, the Red Tails.
But it's like an odd homage to like one of the first like African American like flight teams, like Air Force like strike teams or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're, the Red Hogs, just the Hogs. That's a sick name. Dope. Like random things. But like there were some that were thrown out there. I was like, any of these could be a good thing, and they end up with the Commanders. And fortunately, Dan Snyder has now sold the team to Magic Johnson and some other people. So
hopefully,
maybe
there's hope, right?
No, they sold. It's confirmed now.
No, I'm saying it's like there's hope that.
Oh yeah. Well, why not just do another overhaul? You just did it. Nobody likes the Commanders. Nobody likes the fucking uniforms. Nobody likes the logo. It's like, just do it again. Just do another overhaul again. Now that you've got some creativity in the building, or just somebody who's not going to say, this is what I want, we're not doing anything. Like, it's make it I love it when cities put it up to the city. They do like a vote. They let some kids draw a fucking logo and then have the city vote on it and things like that. It always ends up being like the coolest version.
And everyone would be so stoked for it, right. You have a whole area behind it.
But that being said, the misery continues because the DC Defenders lose 35-26 in the championship to the Arlington Renegades. Congratulations, Arlington. But the thing that made me laugh the hardest while I was watching pieces of that game, I was switching it from the Kraken Dallas game back and forth to this game. DC Defenders, right? Strong 10-6 record. The Arlington Renegades coming into the championship with a super strong 5-6
get out
record. Wait, how does that add up?
That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't add up. Look that up. Do they play different amounts of games? Because that's what it said under their name. Maybe I'm wrong about the DC record. Look it up. No, but definitely I'm not wrong about the Arlington record. It was 5-6 under their name. And then I saw another article that said 4-6. So they definitely sucked.
So we got 4-6 and then 2-0. I'm assuming that's at the playoff series. It says 4-6 and then a comma and then 2-0.
Oh, or were they just putting up records for the playoffs? But then why would
4-6, 2-0, and then DC was 9-1 and then 1-1.
Okay, so 9-1. It wasn't. They were 10-2.
Okay, they had. Well, then then it makes sense.
Coming in with a strong 5-6 record. And stomping out a DC team.
Hey, man.
Right? Like, I was happy when I saw that the DC Defenders were, like, one of the best teams going through this season of the XFL, because I was like, oh, sweet, they're going to get a football championship. You know what I mean? They're going to have the good team, and if they get to the championship, it's like, all right, good for them. And then the Renegades rolling a sub 500 record come in and trounce you. I don't think they even trailed in the whole game.
Oh my god.
Sorry, DC.
That's beautiful though.
The District of Columbia you guys It's because you're not a real state.
It's what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as an American, I just have to point that out. They can say all day long that they're the capital of the United States of America, but it's like you're not even a state, bro.
No.
Like,
and it's so small.
It's
such
tiny.
a small of an area.
Yeah.
I
feel like Baltimore should just swallow.
They have a lot of crime, you know?
Right.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Sorry, we're an anti.
I have a lot of. For some reason, I have a lot of venom right now. But
we're an anti-DC podcast.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
We're different.
Yeah, we're anti-DC here. I know neither of us are huge basketball guys. You have any thoughts on NBA playoffs?
I'm super stoked that the Lakers won.
Has been eliminated. That's what I've been paying attention to.
I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought the Warriors were going to come back.
Because, it's been a long... I saw a press conference with Draymond Green, who's just like, obviously they're asking him all these questions, but he's just like, hey, man, like, it's been a long time since this team has been done playing in May.
Yeah.
He's like, so, yeah, it sucks. But it's just like, we've put together a big resume. And
sure.
It's like, the disappointment's going to be there for sure. Every season you want to win a championship, but it's like, everybody wants to say it's rigged, right? Because the NBA wants LeBron, give him every chance he can get to the finals or whatever, right?
They're trying to get him to beat Jordan's record, dude.
And of all sports, basketball has been known to be like caught being the most corrupt at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's with refs or anything else. Because I saw this crazy statistic of something like the Lakers had like 29 free throws in that last game.
Really?
And the Warriors had like 6. You know, but again, I didn't watch the whole game, so it's
either.
like, what tells the story? Basketball fouls usually mostly seem like bullshit to me anyways, but that's coming from a hockey background.
If they just let him fight.
It's part of the game is having a guy slam himself into you as hard as he can and knock you off of the puck. You do that in basketball, it's a foul, right? So it's like a lot of the moves and fouls and calls don't make sense to me anyways.
Yeah.
So I'll be the caveman over here. And
I watched somebody tap LeBron the other day, and he like straight up threw himself.
What, like with an arm bar?
Yeah, they got him down. It was crazy, bro. It took him like a minute and a half to get him down.
For such a docile human being, I always jump to violent. Like all my favorite shit is the most violent shit. Is that why? Because
I think that's what it is.
I live a docile, like pacifistic style of life. Yeah. So I really, really love seeing
because it's all going on up here.
Just
you don't need it. You don't need it in the real life. It's all going on up here. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. Do you just like when you're walking around the store and stuff? You're just like, I got that guy right there. Like,
oh yeah. I think if you're a dude and you don't do that, I don't care how woke and pussified you are. If you don't walk into a room and see like 4 or 5 gentlemen and just kind of make sure like where you stand,
you just instantly Johnny Lawrence.
If this breaks out into like a
sweep the leg, throw him in a body bag, you know?
Like what this guy, like how would I take him?
Yeah.
Like if I stand with you for more than like 45 seconds in a room, trust me, I've thought about how. Like, if you turned on me at any moment, like, how am I going to take you out?
There's a hitch in his left leg. Okay,
right.
Work with this.
Right. Like, because like, you get the real big, tall guys like you. Like, I would struggle taking you down with a body lock. So I'd probably just try to get behind you and backpack you. Because I'm not a light guy. I'm just a short guy. So I feel like if I backpacked you, I could pull you to the ground. I know I could take the oomph of you landing on me. As long as I'm backpacking you tight, you could land on me and I'm not going to let go. And then I could work for your neck.
Oh.
So that's what I would do with you, Joey.
Okay.
If you turned on me in here like a rabid dog, I would attempt to choke you unconscious.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never thought about it for you.
Well, is it because I'm smaller than you?
No.
What the fuck, bro? Is it because I'm little? It's because I'm a little guy, dude. You think you don't gotta worry about me?
You got something to prove?
No, I just in a situation, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a very theatrical, dramatic man, so like, I feel like shit could go down at any moment sometimes, you know what I mean? Maybe I say the wrong thing about Mohammed bin Salman, and you get real pissed. All right, you try to dismember me and put me into a duffel bag and take me out of the fucking Turkish embassy.
Stop. Let these guys get their bag, man. Okay, I don't care if it's blood money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let them get their bag.
Right. Those hacksaws were here before we got here. We didn't bring them. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it. I mean, now that because the West Finals are set, it's LA versus Denver, the Nugs. I'm going for Denver because they're one of those teams who've been in the mix for years now and just haven't been able to kind of cross the threshold.
You're not going for the California team, dude.
No, because they're the late. It's like that's like voting for freaking Tom Brady, man. Like I'm tired of this shit. I love parody. I do. I want somebody else to win. Fuck Los Angeles.
Right,
all they do is suck up all our water from up north.
Them and the damn almond farmers,
you
dude.
know, we send all our clean water down there. Now we're in a drought. That's all I've been hearing my whole life, dude. Yeah, dude. They'd die of dehydration if it wasn't for us up here in Northern California. And then we've got Heat. The Heat have another team I like. I think I'm going for the Heat because I like Jimmy Butler. I think I'm going just.
I thought it was because you were a fan of Dwayne Wade back in the
day. He's moving out of Florida because his son's trans.
Oh,
and he doesn't like the laws they're passing. So I don't think he's a Heat fan anymore.
Good for him. Wow.
So, but tonight, this afternoon, as we're recording this, when you're listening, this will already be done. We'll already know who wins Philly-Boston Game 7.
Big game, dude.
It's just another thing I got to go for Philly because I can't. Boston, they win too much. Mm-hmm. Fuck them. I feel no sorrow for any loss for Boston. Probably until I die. It'll take that, like, they've won enough between hockey, basketball, and football. They fucking won enough.
They got really
for a lifetime.
They got really embarrassed though. These hockey finals.
Good.
I mean,
you deserve it. You've won. Your city has enough to hang its hat on. I have nothing, Joey. Nothing. You know what I mean? So take your embarrassment and go home. And you know,
when was the last time they won though?
What, you're talking hockey specific?
No, I'm just saying in like Boston in general. It's been a while, hasn't it?
What's a while? 5 years?
I mean, that's a while.
I'm sitting on 30, dude.
It's not our fault.
I didn't say it was my. Are you saying it's my fault? It's not my fault.
You chose the team.
I'm just saying they can take their embarrassment and their losses and they can take it all and they can go home and they can rub on their championship trophies. I can't do that.
Okay.
I literally screenshotted a picture of myself holding a Dirt League roller hockey trophy above my head from 2012. And that was the last bit of shine I've ever gotten. And I had to go earn it.
Mine was I have one from a few years ago when we were playing in Ripon still, and I kissed that trophy.
Well, we won. The Locust won a championship in Ripon, but they only gave us beer mugs that the screen print rubbed off.
They gave us T-shirts. They ran it rubbed off.
Yeah. So now it's just a regular mug.
They gave us like these T-shirts. I don't even think they let us choose the size of the T-shirt, to be honest, which is even more funny.
Yeah, I got an extra small.
Yeah. So we got those like super light blue T-shirts. And then one year we won, or one season we won, and then they gave us they let us touch the trophy.
Right.
And I got to plant my suckers on there, dude.
Okay, moving on. I don't want to talk about Boston anymore and all their championships. Some hockey news. Obviously, we got playoffs going still strong. We'll get to those games in a second. But another kind of, I mean, not a straight up embarrassment like Boston, but another team with high expectations that fall short every time. The New York Rangers. They fired Gerard Gallant, their coach. They've already got a few names lined up for some prospective guys. Mark Messier, New York Rangers, great. NHL, just period, great. Bruce Boudreau, Peter Laviolette, couple of old dogs, real veterans in the coaching department going throughout the NHL. Now I'm going to pose this to you as a hockey fan, Joey, as a team who has changed coaches frequently, changed, currently trying to change maybe direction just as a franchise now with a new GM and things like that.
Sure.
When your team fires their coach after a disappointment of a season, like, are you looking, is it completely situation based on your roster, or are you looking for not young, but like new blood coach, like coach who hasn't been a disappointment yet, but he also hasn't been proven yet? Or are you looking to bring in one, like I said, like these Bruce Boudreaux, Peter Laviolettes, guys who have been there before, done it before, but like, I'm always trying, I feel like evolve is the best way. So it's like, if we're switching it up, let's give this guy who's unproven a new shot. What do you think? What's your...
Well, Gallant, I mean, he led Vegas into a very successful
Yeah.
Very successful few years.
Well, and that's the thing. Bruce Boudreau and Peter Laviolette both had successful teams as well.
And so, well, like you said, right, you're looking for fresh blood because he's not young, right? Gallant. And I don't know, man.
And that's the thing. Mark Messier is not young, but he's also now the player coach. Hasn't like successful, like really high level player coach hasn't always really been a thing in hockey, right? I think it's getting a little more popular in a lot of sports where like before it was always the guys who, they played hockey. That's how they know hockey growing up, or they were a lower level pro, or they were a minor leaguer and they just figured out they were better at coaching, But now you're getting guys who are like real high level players that are taking these coaching positions throughout a lot of sports, and it's kind of like a changing of the guard. I mean, in college, look at like Deion Sanders being successful, right? And he's not in the NFL yet, but I'm sure that's what his goal is, to get to the NFL as a coach, right? And we've never really seen that, you know what I mean? Like Gretzky was like the litmus test of like that, the highest of level player going into he didn't have a lot of success, right? But Mark Messier, I think his style of play will make a good style of coach, because he was one of those guys. He wasn't, the star. He wasn't the sniper. He wasn't the guy going out there where it's like, just give him the puck and he's going to score. No, he was out there quarterbacking. You know what I mean? The Joe Thorntons, the guys who are like quarterbacks of the team, the guys who are setting up the plays, the guys who are supporting those superstars. I think that might be a good thing.
That would be a good thing.
But like, I think as a Sharks fan specifically, because like last week we talked about how the MO is that superstar's up for grabs. Let's bring him in so we can have his worst season ever.
Right.
That scares me so much that when my team fires a coach and they're going to bring a new one in, and they have this old guy who's had success somewhere else, gonna bring it to San Jose, and I'm like, no, he's not. He already had it.
Right.
Like the closest was, DeBoer. Because he had success, not as head coach, but had success in New Jersey. And then
now he's in Dallas.
Going to bring that to San Jose, and he got him to the cup, you know what I mean? But so that's as close as we got from like that past success dictating future success. So I don't put a lot of stock in that. I kind of like give the new guy a shot, because what's the worst going to happen? He's going to suck next year, and then fuck it.
Well, that's kind of funny, because I mean, he's with Dallas now, and he was just with Vegas a few years ago too.
He was, but I was talking about Mark Messier specifically. Or
I know.
Or like the younger style coach is like, if you're doing a rebuild, or I'm not saying the Rangers need to rebuild because they have a good core of players there, but it's like if you're switching things up to the point where you're getting a new coach, let Messier have a shot.
Yeah, but
and if he sucks balls, then whatever, we'll just have to do it again.
What I was trying to make the point of is Pete DeBoer, who's been in the playoffs for these last few years now with different teams. I mean, obviously he has some style of success right there.
Right.
Not to mention those teams were already pretty good to begin with. Right. But
let's not forget the players actually play the games, okay? The coaches don't get out there, so you can't give them all the credit because they're coming into a roster that's already got. I don't know what that character is.
I don't know what you're doing, but
I feel like that's my sports guy voice, all right? That's the guy who says all the platitudes, like the team who gets out there and puts the puck in the net is going to win this game. You know what I mean? The guys who get down low, battle hard, and get those pucks in the net. The guys who lay down their body and they keep the puck out of the other net, those guys are going to win.
We got to make some turnovers, boys. We got to get the turnovers. We got to take the puck down on the other side, and then we got to score, boys.
Right. It's dump and chase. It's not dump and don't chase. If you don't chase the dump, then the dump is pointless.
I'm sorry, boys.
It's just a turnover.
What are we talking about over there, huh? What's more important than listening to coach?
That's what I'm saying.
Cut the chatter,
we've got our Eastern Finals set. Florida, Carolina. I know you're a Carolina bad boy.
I am. Brent Burns, baby.
I saw a nice little picture of a Timo Meyer, Brent Burns hugging it out. Embrace.
Yeah,
that just gave me some just real anger inside my heart.
Did it really?
No, I'm just kidding. I was happy for him, but
yeah,
it's nice to see that.
It was cool to see. Three former Sharks. A few former Sharks actually in the mix, in the mix, man. And I hope they do get it. That's really why I'm pushing. I know we're talking about Eastern, but that's why I'm really pushing for Dallas.
That's two series that are still both up in the air. We got Dallas Seattle Game 7 coming up this week.
Tomorrow,
right?
Tonight, if you're listening to us.
Oh
tonight.
yeah. Yeah. Joey's in the time machine. Yeah, I watched that game yesterday. Seattle just was
They were all
over them. Our boy Pavs came out and buried one. You know what I mean?
He is dragging Dallas through the playoffs, kicking and screaming, baby.
Dude, and just to see his numbers now that they've been putting out this week of like playoff goals.
Right? 8
playoff goals. No, but by just career playoff goals by active players, he's number 3. That's crazy, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's so great. Like, but it also, again, fills me with anger because that means the Sharks have been in the playoffs so much with zero success.
Yeah.
Because he's been in there enough to be up there with 2 other guys who have won Stanley Cups. You know what I mean? And, but still, he's not a Shark anymore. So I digress. But I'm happy that he has continued. He was a great player with the Sharks. He's continued his success. Same style of game.
Yep.
Another one of those quarterbacks
tipping it straight
where
in.
He scores a lot of goals. But he's like what do you say? He's a generous player. You know what I mean? Whatever line.
He's not afraid to shoot the puck when it comes to him, but he's looking for somebody else.
But his line is going to get some success.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're playing with him, you should be happy because he is going to, just as much as he has success, he's going to set you up for success. He's going to be in the right spot. He's going to give you the puck in the right spot. And he's just.
And when that puck's up in the air, he's going to tip that bad boy.
Yeah,
dude.
He's kind of reminds me of Patrick Marleau a little bit. You know what I mean? Just same type of guy where it's personality wise seems like a really nice guy, and and humble and all the things that you like and all that stuff. But just as a player, not out for himself, not out for stats. He's just out there trying to win a hockey game with the guys that are on the ice with him. And I think that's why he's one of those guys who'll have success wherever.
Like him and Marleau. It's funny that you bring him up because I want to be their friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not for anything else. I just want to be able to I had a rough day. Let me call Patty. You know?
What? Exactly. Even now. Now he's not busy now.
No, it's like, let me just, we should sauce me the numbers, bro.
So I thought of something else to add to my credentials for these listeners who thinks that I don't have any sports credentials is even when I was the Bungalow chat show, I had famed Sharks announcer Randy Hahn on my show as an interview, and I just thought about it the other day. I need to email him again now that I have an actual sports show. We need to get him on here again. He's not busy right now.
Nope.
What's he doing?
Nothing.
He ain't covering anything Sharks. God knows. Edmonton and Vegas game 6 tonight or tomorrow.
It's tonight. So yesterday.
Back in
they're dude. I'm really pulling for Vegas. But. We'll get into that later, but
why?
Why? I just have a problem with the Oilers. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
maybe it's just Canada.
That. Okay,
I don't know. I mean, I like McDavid and I like Draisaitl. I like all the people on their team. Most of the people on their team.
And if there was a team that Mohammed bin Salman would put some money behind, it'd probably be the Las Vegas Knights.
Yeah.
So I think that's more.
That's why I'm leaning more towards that.
Yeah.
No, man. I don't.
He's got inside information.
The Oilers had their time.
MBS is looking to put some money behind the Las Vegas.
The Oilers had their time. It's long since passed, and Vegas.
Well, you're talking about
Vegas
Boston. When's the last time it's been a while since Boston won a championship.
I'm not gonna look
but not Edmonton.
Vegas.
They had their chance.
They've been in the playoffs so many times since their inaugural season.
They're barely been here.
And, I think they deserve the ship. You know what I mean? They got some great players. I think this is sacrilegious as a Sharks fan, but I'm just saying.
This is all moral based, Joey. You're a bad guy because this is the thing is I don't like the Oilers either. Right?
Yeah. But you don't like
They've put me in some real bad moods before. All right? Well, Vegas has everything working against them. One, it's Las Vegas.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. Two, they're brand new.
Hey, man. They're aged in a little bit now.
Let me get 10 in and then talk to me about, oh, man, they deserve it. They deserve it. But then how do you separate your love for Boston sports and your empathy for them not winning?
I don't have a love for Boston.
Your empathy for them not winning a championship in so long, right? And Edmonton hasn't even touched a cup final since before Gretzky had little red pubes. He was still skating out there in that orange and blue with a little clean little pecker. The last time they touched, even got close enough. That time don't matter though, right? Okay, no, hey, that's fine. This is sports. You don't need to explain yourself to me. I just want to lay all the information out there for people of the timeline.
I just get like, I don't know, man. I look at them and I just don't feel it. You know what I mean? I can't. You know, I was super stoked to see that Boston didn't win it. You know, like the Florida coming back like that. I get you.
We talked a little bit last week of like Dallas has always been that team for me of like no matter what they're doing, fuck them.
Yeah, and I like Dallas. I'm like this close to being a fucking Stars fan.
Now that Pavelski's on there and just.
I almost bought a jersey the other day.
And maybe it's the DeBoer connection. I like the way they've been playing.
I think I'm just upset with the Sharks because I bought a Timo Meier jersey and then they traded him.
You should get a Devil's patch. And put it over the Shark. Yeah. Keep the same teal. Though,
but to have the Devil's patch.
Okay. All right, dude. Let's move on to some results of some fights that I talked about last week on the fight night preview, and me and Alexis, who will be doing those with me now, we decided to talk about and act like we knew what we were talking about in the moment.
Fun.
So we're gonna start with Bellator France from Friday morning. Bellator France, not a big card for me. Not a lot of name guys on there. But we'll just go over the wins and losses of that main card. I was going all France. They're in the backyard. If I didn't know them, so I went with Thibaut Gouti on this one, and he won by KO. Very impressively. Probably the coolest name on the card. There's other things I look for. Like if I don't know a fighter or a player, I'm all name based.
Names.
You know what I mean? And I like MMA because they do a lot of headshots. You know what I mean? It's combat sports, they do the headshot of the guy. So it's like if I like your look, I'm like a modeling agent. Yeah. If I like your look, I like your name. I might put some money behind you, Thibaut Gouti. And he came out on top. So congratulations, Thibaut.
Good job, buddy. Brent Primus.
Okay, that'll be the next one. Douglas Lima. So
that's an impressive record, dude.
Yeah, Douglas Lima, he's an old vet. I was hoping he'd pull this out because I was a fan. I didn't think he would. I thought this was going to be one where the Dutch kickboxing came up over the Brazilian Muay Thai. But he did enough to pull out a decision. It wasn't dominant, but he did win a decision, Douglas Lima. So congratulations there, you old man. Brent Primus, another guy who I just declared not being that impressed with, but I also picked him to win this fight.
Wow, 20-5. That's another great record.
And he was French, you know what I mean? So like, he had that going
Mansour,
for him.
Benoit.
Yeah, he lost in front of all his friends and family.
Barnouis, is that his name?
I know, I said Barnawi, but then you're right, it's French, so it's probably Barnouis. Who knows? Doesn't matter. He lost.
He Barnouis.
A decision to Brent Primus. And then the main event on Bellator on Friday, Gegard Mousasi, Fabian Edwards. Me and Alexis were all over Gegard's sack because he is just the ageless wonder. He's been around since the Pride days. He's one of those guys every time you think it's over for him, he just makes it more impressive.
That's another amazing record. Right there.
Yeah, it's a big record, right?
49 wins.
And he's a fantastic fighter, but again, he's a guy who's that face he has on right there doesn't change from the opening of the fight, the walkouts, the handshake during the fight. Yeah. He could have
one level.
He could have just knocked you unconscious, and that's what he just looks like that all the time. Yeah. So it's hard to tell if he's up for a fight or whatever.
Right.
Anything like that. Well, this definitely looked like a fight he was just not interested in. Either that or his skills are kind of finally catching up to that fucking record, because that's a lot of fights. So
yeah.
And Fabian Edwards, we gave him the brother rub because his brother is Leon Edwards, the UFC champion.
Yeah.
So we kind of were like, yeah, is he getting shine just because his brother, he's a name kind of now. Right. He's got a little bit of name recognition. But also, obviously he's an impressive fighter to be given a chance to go up against Gegard.
Sure.
And he won a decision, a decisive decision. I think Gegard only had like a couple punches that landed clean. He had a couple takedowns, but like nothing that really would have blown your hair back, where you thought he might have got a decision or even won a round. I feel like Fabian Edwards had that fight under control. So Bellator, do better. Not a good card. Not gonna lie, but that's what we had last week. And when you're a degenerate like me, you'll take everything you can get. All right, moving on to UFC Fight Night. Opposite. This was a very good card, all the way to the beginning of the card, from the prelims on the Fight Night preview. Alexis and I, we talked about some of the undercards, but obviously we always focus on the main cards on those shows. But this was free on ESPN, and then the main card was free on ABC. So, like, you could watch this whole thing on free television.
Nice.
You didn't have to have ESPN. I still watch on ESPN Plus because I can pay for it. So I had to feel like I got my money's worth.
Yep.
But it started at 9 a.m. Because it was in New Jersey, but it started early because I think the ABC, they didn't want it in prime time. They wanted it, and during the day, people are more apt to watch stuff like that, right? So basically, prelim started at 9 a.m. The main card started at noon. So there's a few things. I went to the grocery store and got some meat to put on a fire.
Nice.
And but with the beauty of smartphones, I got Hulu on my phone, so and ESPN Plus. So I was listening to it a broadcast while I was at the store.
Which, by the way, it's still stupid that you pay for ESPN Plus and then you pay for full price
for a pay-per-view. Yeah,
I will always bring.
I'm dying on that hill.
Yeah,
but remember, if you're real close to the southern border of the United States. No, we're not going there again.
No, I just want to bring it up every time so that hopefully if someone sees
it's crazy,
they understand.
It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, so this card, I dug this card all the way through. So I'm gonna go give you a little mini talk about each fight, because each fight was special.
Give me a little talks.
So this first fight on the prelims, Jessica Rose Clark, Tariana Lisboa. Tainara Lisboa. This was one of these fights where Lisboa, not a lot known. She's been signed to the UFC for I think a year and a half now, but she got injured right when she got signed. So then this was her first fight. Big time kickboxing champion. I think she's the only woman or male multiple time Muay Thai world champion from Brazil.
No way.
Right? And Brazil's big into Muay Thai. Big. If second only to jiu-jitsu, it is like their biggest sport, right? Mm-hmm. So I would have thought there'd have been multiple people who had won multiple world titles from Brazil, but no, she's the only one.
Wow.
So it was an interesting one because Jessica Rose Clark, she's like a Australian women's like MMA pioneer, right? Because it hasn't been popular there for too long, right?
Right.
And she's just on a downswing. She's lost her last 2 fights by armbar, and she's got these cool face tattoos. She's one of these. She's a tatted up Aussie,
Jessica Rose Clark.
My tits bounce on the downstep. My tips bounce on the downstep. She's entertaining to watch, but the thing was she came into this and you could definitely tell there was a speed difference right from the beginning, and Lisboa just pieced her up, dude. Like Rose Clark came out really trying. But the thing is they were both pretty evenly matched on the ground. Lisboa actually impressed me from her back a lot. As soon as she got taken down in the first round, she threw up an armbar. And I thought that was going to be it because, like I said, Rose Clark, her last 2 fights, I think she's been submitted by an armbar. So I'm like, oh, this is done here. Because you could definitely tell someone's defensive prowess with an armbar. You think you get tapped out 2 fights in a row, all you'd be working on that next camp
is how to defend against
is proper positioning. But the thing is she gets caught before her takedown's finished, right? She just is in the wrong spot. Her arm or shoulder is in the wrong spot. So when she dives into these people's guard as she's taking them down, she sets them up, man. Like, it's just right there for them.
Yeah.
And it was in deep. She got out, though. And then later, Lisboa was able to catch her with a rear naked choke. But so
tough,
maybe it's time for the old Aussie
Jessica Rose Clark.
Yeah.
Jessica Rose Clark. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that was a good one. This next fight, I was interested in this one. Brian Battle, he's one of these guys I followed since the beginning of like the Dana White Contender Series. If you know about that, these seasons that Dana White does where he puts a group of fighters. It's not like the Ultimate Fighter where they have to be. It's like a reality show. It's literally just they do a season of it where it's like weekly fights. These prospects, depending on how you do in your fight, win, loss. It's just how Dana evaluates you.
Right.
He awards contracts at the end of the episode every week, and sometimes sometimes winners don't get them because he just thinks you're not ready, and he gives you another fight, next season on the Contender Series, whatever. It's just another way for him to evaluate. It's kind of like the minor leagues, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, which I like. I love that shit because. Last week's fight card was full of too much too soon type talk that I was just saying, like the MMA in general, because it's trying to grow its popularity and grow its stars. Once they see a little shine on you, whether it's skill wise or personality wise, they throw you to the fucking wolves.
Yeah.
So I love it. It's like in boxing, before a guy fights for a title, he'll have a 20-0 record, and not that every one of those 20 fights the person was deserving to be in there with them, but in combat sports, it's so much experience based. Seeing different looks and different things because there's so many ways to lose that experience is key, even if it's people that are below your level. So I like the Contender Series. I like the way they're doing that because that's full of people who should all be in there together because they're being evaluated against each other, basically.
Yeah, well, you can do really great up to this point, and then you start fighting the people that have been training since they were 3 years old. And
that's the last week. And on the fight card preview, like I've said that a couple times about guys, like we talked about Crone Gracie last week being a scam, but most of the problem with that is that he had popularity coming into his UFC contract. He had masterful jiu-jitsu practitioner. But that's not enough anymore, right? You know what I mean? And with a name like that, and get a couple wins against some scrubs under you, they're going to give you to Cub Swanson, and he's going to eat you alive. But, that's what's going to happen, because Cub Swanson, he couldn't have beat any of the jiu-jitsu champions that Crone Gracie has beat. But in an MMA fight, Cub Swanson is going to eat you. You know what I mean? Like a little bear cub. And he's going to do it, right? And he did it. And then you take a couple years off, and you don't change your outlook on the game, and you come back, and then a guy like Charles Jourdain, who would also get eaten by Cub Swanson, he eats you. And so this fight, Brian Battle, he's been brought up the right way. He going up against Gabe Green, Gabe Green's the kind of, I wouldn't quite call him a vet yet, but he is. He's had a handful of UFC fights, mixed results, but very technically and just kind of a real hard out, you know what I mean? So this was going to be a battle for Brian Battle, and it was one of these fights. They're like, okay, are you ready for the next step, Brian Battle?
And he starched him 14 seconds into the first round.
It was nuts, dude. This fight is the one where you're like, oh, fuck. Like, if you just tuned in on this fight, you were in for the rest of the card. Because what happened is Gabe Green had the mentality of a guy who was like, okay, they're not going to feed me this young dude, and I'm not going to be a stepping stone. I'm going to go crush this guy as fast as I can. And he went out there not throwing wild bombs. He was still throwing some technical punches, but he went after him and just started throwing bombs right off the bell. Brian Battle took a couple big shots to the head, backed up against the fence, and then just with a nice little check right hook, just and put him just out.
Wow.
Like he landed a couple ground and pound shots before the ref could jump in, but he didn't need them. Gabe Green went to bed, like off of a check hook, leaning backwards against the fence.
Yeah.
Brian Battle just got clipped, and he just clapped up. So even though it's only a 14-second fight, sucks. Like even Brian Battle's coach was like, that was too fast, man. Like we didn't learn anything, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gabe Green, to his credit, did not give Brian Battle time to learn anything, but he didn't need to learn anything to finish that fight. And that's a big thing that a lot of guys are doing now to combat that kind of super aggressive style of like, I'm just going to come out and overwhelm this guy. Like, this guy might be more technical than me. I'm going to come out and just overwhelm him with pressure and punches. That leaning back, check, right or left hook, depending on the side that you're on. A lot of guys, like Conor McGregor made it famous when he knocked out Jose Aldo in that fight. Jose Aldo came out just wanting to take his head off, and McGregor just went, blink, pop, and one check hook and put him to sleep, right?
Yeah.
it works so well because you're using the other person's momentum against them. It's their pressure coming towards you. That's why when you see they don't look like, oh, I could take one of those all day long. But it's like, if you're moving as hard as you can, throwing punches at a guy, and he just sticks his little hand right out there, you're basically knocking yourself
Did you
out.
see that video of Jose Aldo fighting? And Conor was like, hit him with the uppercut.
Yeah, no, it's
beautiful.
It's like for any of you who aren't huge MMA fans that still think it's barbaric, and there's so much technique behind it. And in that 14 seconds, it was great because it was so fast. Like after the fight, you can go back and see every movement because it was 14 seconds. You see every punch, and you see Brian Battle's technique. Even though he did get hit, you're gonna get hit. It's an MMA fight. You're gonna get punched, right? So yeah, it'd be great if you just fucking dodge everything like the Matrix. But even in getting punched and moving backwards. That he landed the punch that he was intentionally trying to land, you know, and that's technique, and that's how you win fights in MMA. Okay, the next fight on the card was lame, but I'm gonna bring it up because it was the beginning of a terrible reffing night. So if you don't know about MMA reffing, they go around the world, around the states, right? And every state has an athletic commission. Okay, a lot of the states that are new to MMA will bring in the Las Vegas or California refs that those commissions use all the time. Your staples, your Herb Deans, your guys that you know from the UFC. UFC, people think they're UFC refs. That's illegal. They do not have refs. The Athletic Commission trains and appoints the referees to each fight. They don't get to choose, right? So when people talk about there always can be corruption, but it's not like the UFC is like, we want this guy to ref this. That's not how it works, right? So when they go to commissions where haven't had a lot of MMA there, they either bring them in or they use their own fucking guys who have only been reffing dirt league MMA, right? And that's what happened in North Carolina. They were at the home of your Canes on Saturday.
Wow.
And I can't remember this guy's name. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. So this fight was an interesting one. So Kim, Ji-Yeon Kim versus Mandy Boom is how she says it. Mandy Boom. It's German, B-O-H-M.
Yeah, well, the two dots makes a U sound.
Well, yeah, right. So you got an umlaut.
Is that what it's called?
Wait, is the umlaut the little thing? I don't know. Dots?
I don't know what it's called.
Anyways, so our South Korean baddie, Ji Kim, was dominating this fight, right?
Yeah.
They go into a ground scramble. Kim knees her in the head while Mandy's knee was on the ground still, so that's an illegal shot.
That's a legal shot.
Right? They give her time to recover or whatever. And then, not right away, the ref goes ahead and deems it accidental. And then he takes a point away from Kim, which, okay, that's fine. She kneed her in the head. That's a big deal. It's not a little deal.
Oh, Kim kneed her in the head.
Kim kneed her in the head.
Okay,
they stopped the fight. Long break. I'm just saying that usually the refs, if they're going to take a point, they take a point, right?
Yeah.
Mandy Baum she got kneed in the head. It sucks. But she was up talking, whatever, da-da-da. And then the way she was talking to the doctor, even like the cage-side commentators were kind of like, I don't know. It seems like she wants out of this fight. You don't talk to the doctor, because she was like, you could tell she was talking about her eyesight. It's like, you don't talk to the doctor like that when you're trying to keep fighting.
Right. You tell him I'm fine.
You're giving him reasons to stop the fight. You know.
Yeah.
He didn't stop the fight. The fight kept going, but took a point away from Kim. And then as the fight keeps going, Kim keeps not dominating, but cruising towards a decision, and then eye poke, and then an eye poke, and then she can't continue. Mandy Boom can't continue. We're in the middle of the third round at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fight's called off, right? And in MMA, if it goes past the second round and a fight is called off because of an illegal blow or anything like that, it's not a no contest. They go to the judges' scorecards, and who's ever winning the fight up to that point wins.
Mm-hmm.
So with the point taken away in the first round, I'm in my head, I'm like, it's a close fight. I think Kim was winning, but she lost that first round. Might have been a draw or a loss,
sure,
depending on that point. I think she won the second round, so I'm like, okay, we're looking at a draw. Probably, right? And then she was dominating that third round up until the eye poke or whatever. And then
did it seem intentional?
No, not at all. But the thing is the fight had already been called off, right? Maybe a minute later, the ref goes over and takes another point from Kim. Right? And like the announcers, like Dominic Cruz, storied bantamweight fighter, was one of the announcers, and he's just kind of like freaking out because he's just like, what is this guy doing?
Right.
He's like, you take a point because this fighter is going to continue, and you want to give them a fair shot towards a decision because they took an illegal blow, blah, 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 blah. You already called off the fight. You've already protected the fighter. Right, so then to afterwards go.
Take another...
So far after the judges had already turned their scorecards in, then he took the point. They had to give the judges their scorecards back. 2 of the judges turned their scorecards in again, but then were unaware of a certain part of the rules as far as how to judge a fight like that. Again, North Carolina hasn't done a lot of MMA, didn't bring the Vegas judges. Had to give them their scorecards back again, and then read a decision winning Mandy Boom as the winner. Right?
Wow.
So, illegal blows are illegal blows. You win a fight on an illegal blow, happens all the time. Aljamain Sterling won the title because of an illegal knee to the head. But you get kneed in the head, that finishes fights most of the time. So if you're in a fight and somebody does it illegally and basically knocks you out, you win the fight. It's the rules. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the referee and the judges in this certain specific situation. Like, this can't happen in professional sports. Right? And that's why I talk, it was like, you don't want the same refs all the time because that breeds corruption. But to say, oh no, we're going to use our guys, and then they do things like this.
Right.
Because even if it's judges, the point deductions are judges' discretion, but the way it was handled was completely unprofessional.
No, if you turn in the scorecards, you shouldn't, and you stop the fight, you can't.
The fight's over. Afterwards. You can't go back if you're not going to stop the fight. So right when the knee happens, you should say, "Oh fuck, that's another point."
Right.
And then Mandy can't continue after she takes her rest. Oh, she can't continue. Okay, now fight's over.
Yeah,
I'm fucking fine with that. But the fight's already done.
You can't decide after.
You wait a minute, and then you go, you know what? I think she does deserve a point to be taken away. Because the fight's over? It was like, no, yeah, the fight's over. Of course it was, like, you know what I mean? Of course it affected her.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it.
And I love Dominic Cruz because he will let you know.
He'll rip into them. And on the judges' side of it, I think it's illegal. I mean, at least in Las Vegas, that would be a no contest. Because giving the cards back to the judge, that's like conflict type shit.
That's very, very classic. Suspect.
Right. You know what I mean? So, like, that whole thing was just a joke but that shows you how, even as long as the UFC's been around, MMA, like, how new it all is. Because there's still people that are reffing and judging at the highest level that just don't have a grasp.
But that should be like a basic thing, like to know that you can't. I mean, if you turn something in already, you can't go back and change it. You can't. That should be basic.
Yeah. Oh, but we didn't know the rules. And it's like, what?
What? You are.
How
the
are
rule.
you judging this and you don't know the rules? Like, you know, that's my whole thing. I'm always for, like, fighters. I love it when fighters are judges and fighters are officials. Because, like, not that you have to be in there, but, like, I've been watching this shit for so long. I could be a judge, a completely non-biased judge, right? Because I watch this shit non-biased because it's not a team. I like certain fighters, but it's not like I'm rooting
for that person,
you know what I mean? I always root for a good fight. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's how. But if you don't,
love it for the sport, not
you don't
for
know the
team.
base rules that are even separate from the techniques and stuff you're supposed to be judging these guys on.
Right.
What are we doing? Another bout, catchweight bout. This was these guys are usually 135ers. Cody Snedeman versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. This was another decision. It wasn't boring, but it just... Stamen got 2 knockdowns in the fight. He still lost. It was real close. They kind of just judged it straight off, like, landed strikes, which... Whatever.
Unanimous, though.
Yeah, definitely unanimous. But like I said, he got a couple knockdowns, so you think that would have meant something in those rounds where he got the knockdowns.
Knockdowns mean shit, bro.
I don't know.
Knockdowns mean shit.
All right.
We're different.
Let's see. Carl Williams defeated Chase Sherman in a decision. That was a boring one. Then we get to some old dogs. Matt Brown versus Court McGee. Me and Alexis talked about this a little bit. These two guys, this was one of my favorite fights on the card because they've both died of drug overdoses before. Right? Yeah. Both these guys in their past have both died of drug overdoses and been brought back to life.
Oh, my God.
So they both got that I've died before fucking fearlessness. And Just a couple old dogs going after it. I like it when they have old dog fighting old dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like old dog getting fucked up by some new guy, and I don't like an old dog destroying the confidence of a new guy either.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
You know, there's a lot of upsets. I'm looking at the odds between all these guys. There's been a lot of upsets.
Yeah. Let me tell you though, I picked most of them. But Matt Brown landed a big old haymaker from the moon, knocked out Court McGee. Main card, Alex Morono. This guy is just another guy who just, as soon as you think he might be a little overwhelmed, he sinks in a guillotine choke and chokes somebody out, and that's what happened. Tim Means got a little too aggressive, went for a takedown, and before he even hit the ground, Alex Morono had his arm under his neck, and I knew it was over because then they hit the ground, he had the guillotine in, and then he wrapped his leg. It was just one of those things that was done before it even
wrapped it up in a nice little bow.
And Alex Morono, real positive guy. I always like that with fighters. Because of my demeanor, I don't really. Fighting breeds douchebags. We don't need more of them with microphones. The guys watching the fights are usually douchebags. So, and Alex Morono,
I'm not surprised.
He's just a martial artist to the core. He used his post-fight speech to just talk about, you depressed, you bullied, you just anything. You need something to change in life. Go to a martial arts gym. Mm-hmm. That's what I did, and now I own it, and we're just living the lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. And
good for him.
So good on Alex Morono. Carlos Olberg versus Eeyore. I love this because his name was Eeyore
Potiera.
And this was a couple just prospects, man. This was a perfect fight to make. A couple of hard-hitting dudes that Eeyore, he's a submission guy too, but Carlos Olberg's just a destroyer from New Zealand. He comes from City Kickboxing with Izzy Adesanya and all those guys over there in New Zealand. He's just a wrecking machine, dude. He hits like a ton of bricks, man, and this was another fight with 2 minute fight, man. It's just they just threw fucking leather and old Black Jag, that's his name. That's his nickname, Black Jag. Black Jag fucking just took him down, dude. KO'd the crap out of him, and he's still on his way up. And here's one of me and Joey's picks from this week: Daniel Rodriguez, Ian Gary. Joey went the smart route and picked Ian Machado Gary. And I went with my heart, the California boy, Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. It was funny during this post-fight lead-up, little press packages they put together before the fight. Like, Daniel Rodriguez's whole thing is like, I got the Mexicans behind me. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. That's California right there,
it is,
dude.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But didn't work out for old D-Rod. Just a little... behind the technique and speed, and Ian Gary is he's one of these guys who, if they feed him to the wolves, he deserves it now. Because seriously, Daniel Rodriguez is one of these guys. He's not the highest ranked guy, but if it's one of those guys where if like you beat him, you can contend with anybody in the top 10. Not saying you're gonna beat him, but he has contended with guys in the top 10. He's never been knocked out. And Ian Gary knocked him the fuck out, right? And he's been beat before, but nobody's just no chance.
Wow.
D-Rod, sorry, bud.
Johnny Walker.
I'm having I got some throat things going on.
You all right, buddy?
No, it's just fucking making my eyes water. Everybody watching it, be like, "What's wrong with Cole? Why is he crying? He really wanted Daniel Rodriguez to win that fight."
Need like a Zantac or something?
All right, we're almost done, people. I'm trying to hold it together here. Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker. This was Anthony Smith seems like a good guy. He's on the broadcast desk now, but I'll say it: once you hit that broadcast desk, just hang it up.
Yeah, when you got the foot out,
you got too much shit going on, man. Like,
yeah, you can't be halfway in.
And
this.
Johnny Walker, he's a knockout artist that is always going to be exciting to watch. So, and he's kind of on a little tear right now, so it's like I kind of was rooting for him to win. Obviously didn't want Anthony Smith to get freaking crumbled, but he didn't, so that's good. It was just a unanimous decision, but very handily gave it to him. The pathetic part about this fight with Anthony Smith wasn't how he fought. It was that forever there's going to be a clip now of him during the fight telling Johnny Walker, "You're attacking my family." Like they're, and Johnny Walker's like, "Huh?" He's like, "You're attacking my family." He's like, "I do what?" And it's just like, if you have to tell yourself that in the middle of the fight to get yourself up enough, like it's been over. You know what I mean? It's been over, Anthony Smith. Like, if you have to literally,
throw in the towel.
like, while you're walking out there, it's like, this guy's raping my wife. I gotta bleep that out. I forgot it's on YouTube. They don't like the R word. You know what I mean? You just, like, if you gotta, in the middle of a fight where two guys are trying, like, this guy's trying to take your head off,
right,
and you're supposed to be doing the same to him, the only way you can get up for that is to be like, "You're attacking!" Like, you have to tell him. You can't even just think it.
Right.
"You're attacking my family!"
You have to say it out loud.
And old Johnny Walker. Huh? I do what?
I punch your face now.
That was a highlight of the night for me. And then the main event,
Rosenstruck.
as my partner on Fight Night Preview calls him, Jairzinho Rosenstruck. He calls him Jairzinho doesn't strike. And again, he didn't even have time to strike because Jailton Almeida took him down and tapped him out real quick. But that's what we thought was going to happen. So that's enough MMA. There's another show where we talk about that. Joey, are we ready to debut your segment,
dude?
I gave Joey a segment. I gave him some homework this week. And this is going to be called Joey's Quickies. Because, I only see, we all have phones, smartphones. We're looking at news and things like that all day long, but sometimes things get skipped over. So I said, Joey, why don't you bring in 3 headlines? They don't have to be sports related, that we can just rapid fire. I'll give you my rapid fire opinion. You can hit your "we're different"
We're
button.
different, yeah.
What
No, on this week they are sports related, but
okay, that's fine.
let's get to what people care about, because we had the NHL draft, right?
And, we didn't even talk about that. We didn't talk about it. Chicago's about to get Bedarded.
Okay,
dude.
that's what I was gonna say. Is how do you feel about that? Is it Bedard? Bedard? It's hockey, so they probably call him Bedard, huh?
No, they call him Bedard.
Bedard?
Yeah. Wow. But I mean, that name is just great.
Right.
We'll get Bedarded in here. They're gonna say that. They're gonna play that song.
I'm so tired of all these Connors just coming out, dude. That are so good.
It's like the
stuff.
Name thing. Everybody picks a name, and then they're all named after freaking Conor McGregor. They are, dude. Or somebody,
Yeah, man. But he's a good looking kid coming up. I mean, what do you think?
Dude.
Look at Hansel. He's so hot right now.
No, so there's a lot of controversy behind this, because if you don't know, the NHL does a lottery for their first pick, for their first 16 picks, basically.
Yeah,
right?
and for the crappier you are in the past year, the more chances you get.
Win. And there was a lot of controversy about how Chicago ended up with the first pick, graphics being shown on the screen that shouldn't have been shown on the screen before the pick was made, and things like, a conspiracy thing about how if the NHL had their choice, would they want this superstar, or what's hopefully going to be the next superstar? Do they want him in Anaheim or Columbus?
Right.
Or do they want him in Chicago, a staple, an original,
a dynasty?
Of course, if they have their druthers, I don't know why. I mean,
San Jose tried so hard to get into that spot.
Of course, but it never was going to happen. But so here's my theory on that. But this is me, who likes it when there's parity. We've already gone over that.
Yeah.
I guess because of the Blackhawks, their original 6, or any of these legacy teams that have been around for 100 years, they just sell more jerseys, period. And then when you add a superstar to it, it's that much more, like, to casuals, to non-specific team fans. I want that guy's jersey, because it's a Blackhawks jersey and he's going to be blah, blah, blah. Is it strictly just money-based, like, because the market's bigger? But it's like, they're all NHL teams, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, like, what does it matter? Like,
well, there's people out here. You can make the case that people move around, but Blackhawks are just such a huge team in the NHL. Marian Hossa, Patrick Kane,
of course,
Taves, right? All these people. It's like, people like them just because they were good at one point.
Sure, but you get a dynasty legacy team out of success, time, and people being interested in the team for long periods of time, right? So take an Anaheim, a San Jose, a Columbus, these teams who, they're not the oldest teams, but they got 30 years in now. They're not young teams anymore. Why is that why is it better for the NHL for Connor Bedard to go to Chicago rather than go to one of these teams that needs a market boost, that needs this, and then it happens that way? Because if Sidney Crosby isn't on the Penguins and he's on one of these smaller market teams, he's still going to be Sidney Crosby. So, like, doesn't that add to that team? So it's like, why wouldn't the NHL want to grow more legacy teams, grow more teams that have people across the country buying their jerseys rather than just locally? Like, and that's the only way you do it, is by having these players join these teams.
Well, I think there's a growing popularity of the NHL, but I mean, for the casuals that I have, like, especially just using the people that work for me, right? The ones that they bring up the Sharks, but that's just because,
right?
We're local. Here, because they're local. They bring up Anaheim because of the Mighty Ducks movie, right? But they know the big ones. They know, of course, the Blackhawks. They know the Penguins. They know the Capitals.
But that's what I'm saying is to get someone in, Missouri to be a Sharks fan. Mm-hmm. The first thing to do is to put a Connor Bedard on his team, and then, Connor Bedard is the best player in the NHL. Let me check out one of these games. I
think a lot of people are scared of that, for him to be a flop. You don't think that?
Yeah, but that happens in every sport, right? It's inevitable. So it's like, if he goes and flops in Chicago, isn't that worse than if he flops in Anaheim or San Jose or Columbus?
No, because he's still on a popular team. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get it.
I don't know.
There's no wrong answer here, Joey. We're different.
I'm not saying I'm happy that he went to Chicago. With it.
I knew there was no chance the Sharks were going to get it. So beyond that, I didn't care. I was happy Anaheim didn't get it.
I'm happy Anaheim didn't get it.
I hate Anaheim Ducks. I hate them. I hate all ducks, specifically ducks from Anaheim. They got weird penises. What's your next one? What we got? What's the next cookie?
The next one was Alex Pietrangelo and
I'm glad you brought this up.
And Leon Draisaitl.
Getting
a fucking freaking tomahawk chop straight to his straight to him. I mean, how do you feel about that? He got a 1-game sussy for it.
I'm fine with it because, again, hockey is a brutal enough sport. You don't need that intentional. The only reason to do what he did is to try to hurt his hand.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. You beat me? Okay. I hate that.
Well, the play was blown dead too, which was right. It was totally.
It's not like he was breaking up a breakaway.
It was out of malice, right? And
out of malice.
I don't think he even chopped his hands. I thought he chopped his. Wasn't it like higher up?
I thought he hit his wrist, but I don't know. Either way, there's certain moves in hockey that are 100% intentional, and there's certain moves in hockey that you can rough somebody up and it's not egregious, or it's like, that's fine. Like, you put somebody in the boards and give them a little face wash, and give them, even with your padded glove, give them a little tap on the chin. Like, I'm fine with that. Still, you're not going to hurt anybody doing that. But
you're not looking to take somebody out of the series because
the downward stick slash.
Yeah, it was really bad. I was real upset with it, because that's a bitch.
I've
liked him. I liked Pietrangelo. He's a great player.
Always been. But the thing is that I hate that's bitch move in my department, because the face wash, the little punch, the even knocking him down to the ground, tripping him, that kind of stuff, I can get down with that all day long.
Right.
That one specific thing, I hate it, because it's like, you're just trying to hurt them.
Yeah.
You're not trying to humiliate or frustrate or anything else. That is, you guys are doing better than me right now. I need to hurt you to keep you from doing better than me. And that's a bitch move.
It is.
Like, Petrangelo's a big guy. There's a lot of ways that he could have.
You think 1 game was enough for that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's enough. It's just like, because it's also not, he didn't get hurt. If he broke his wrist, if Draisaitl had to miss a game, if he got hurt, then we're talking about something should be a little bit deeper there. But I think 1 game was just like, hey, knock it off, dickwad.
Right.
Like, you guys get to fight out here. So if you got that,
all you're hurting is your team, bud.
Yeah, that's how it is in hockey a lot of times, because you are allowed. The refs let so much go that in other sports you'd be like, oh, the beauty of hockey is, like, you go in any other sport with those mic'd ups and shit like that. Yeah, in football, they say crazy shit to each other. But as soon as one word is even uttered at the ref, penalty! me.
Yeah.
You watch a hockey mic'd up, the refs are talking as much shit as the players. Yeah. They're just like, back the fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to pick a penalty call, don't slash a motherfucker. Like, you know, like that's how they talk to each other.
Right.
And I like it too because it's very there's transparency.
Yeah.
Between the you can argue penalties all day long because there's dies, but then there's also subjectiveness. There's also anything, right? But you're allowed to let the ref know it, and you're expected to.
Right.
There's not one penalty you'll see in an NHL game where at least one guy from that team isn't in the ref's,
over there saying something
not in his face being a dick, but just being like, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you follow before I even got to him, you know, or whatever the case may be, and you're expected to do that.
Yeah.
So in a game where you have so much leeway physically and verbally, those kind of little bitch moves I got no time for.
Which brings us to the next one, which is the fight between Darnell Nurse and Nick Hague.
Which was another penalty, another suspension.
It was another one-game sussy.
Darnell Nurse got suspended.
Which, that was those were some bombs, dude. Did you see that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge proponent of fighting black guys, period. But if there's a black guy that's out there playing hockey, definitely don't fight that guy.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse is he's a proven fighter too.
Yeah, and
you know
especially
what I mean?
a guy who's not a skill guy that's just out there. He's
out there to enforce.
He's enforced. I mean, he's a good player, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I might mix it up with PK Subban. You know what I mean? But I'm not mixing it up with Darnell Nurse.
Would you mix it up with Ryan Reeves?
Absolutely
not. I would do it just to say I did, you know, even if I got beat, you know, which I would.
Well, you would.
Have you seen the ones where
Is that our challenge? If you guys get Peak One to 100 subscribers, Joey's gonna fight
Ryan Reeves.
Ryan Reeves on the Strip, downtown Vegas.
Yep, I'll do it, dude. I'll take you out, buddy.
We're gonna rent out the Elvis wedding chapel, and we're gonna put a little mini rink in there, and you guys are gonna suit up and hockey fight. If we get to 100 subs.
So, I mean, I didn't do too much deep dive into it. Do you know what the suspension was even for? I should have deep dived into it, but
it was for
it was instigation, wasn't it?
It was instigation
because Hague was against the boards with another player, and Nurse came over and ripped him off.
It was kind of one of those, hey bud, this is over and above. You know what I mean?
But I mean, you stick up for your player, man. I don't know who he had pinned.
I don't think his suspension should have happened.
Like I don't know who he had pinned, but if it's a star player that he had pinned, I mean, you don't let that happen. You know?
Of course not. And I don't like to differentiate between stars and non-stars. It's like teammate's a teammate. You fucking stand up for your teammate in hockey, no matter who it is. So I'm fine with what he did. The ends of hockey playoff games, 9 out of 10 times end in a giant fight.
Well, I think you need to be able to fight. Just to talk about what you did, you need to be able to fight your own fights. However, if you're a star player, if you're my star player,
of course,
you shouldn't have to fight because well, you should be able to fight, but
just like I don't want you to hurt your fucking hands. I play in a dirt league, hockey league where no one wants to get hurt and nobody wants anything to happen. But if I'm out there on a shift with Jeff Kennedy tomorrow, who called my goaltender a cunt last game, he's gonna hear about it.
Yeah,
and he might hear about it from this guy.
Well, you
might hear about it from this guy.
You know what I do? I go clear across the ice to hit somebody. You know what I mean?
So that's just
on a team that's full of cops.
Low level to high level, lowest level to highest level, dude. You go out there and you defend your teammate. So with Darnell Nurse, I get it, is instigation, whatever. But again, after the play, that was after the game. That was the end of the game, right?
I think so too. Yeah, it was towards the end of the game, and like, the play was.
If you watch a playoff hockey game, watch it with 5 seconds left of the third period, turn it on, and I would almost put money. I would put my weekly paycheck that the fight is this game. As soon as the last horn sounds, there will be a giant dog fight pile for another like 2 or 3 minutes, while the refs start pulling everybody off of each other, no matter the outcome.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it really shouldn't have even been a suspension because it is playoff hockey.
Right, that's the difference between Nurse's suspension and Petrangelo's suspension. Petrangelo, that is uncalled for. You don't.
If you're going to suspend Nurse for that, Petrangelo should have been more.
If Petrangelo skated, the whistle blew, and he skated up to who'd he slash? Draisaitl, and just punched him right in the face, I'm fine with that.
You are?
I'm fine with that in a hockey sense. Slashing on your hands, that is a thing to me. It's just like most of the time you're not even going to stop him doing what he's doing when you slash. Like, you're just trying to crack his fucking wrist bone. Like,
right.
hockey's hockey. We could get physical, but don't be a bitch. Darnell Nurse, he wasn't being a bitch. He was protecting his teammate.
Yeah.
He was like, you want to fucking fight somebody? Fight me, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hockey in a sense.
Yeah.
You want, like, that guy is here to score goals, and I'm here to make sure that you don't fuck with that guy. Right?
I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the dynamics of a first liner and a fourth liner.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, we're good hockey players, but that guy's better. So that means you guys are going to play him a lot harder.
And I'm better at hurting you, which he annihilated. I mean, they both threw bombs, but it was clearly one-sided. I mean, he annihilated him.
Yeah. I could have put that one on that UFC fight card, and I would have been,
And you would have won
psyched about it. All right, let's get into our last week picks results, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Not too bad here.
So Vegas beat Edmonton.
Vegas beat Edmonton in Game 3 is the game that we chose,
Yes.
and we both picked Vegas on that one.
And then I think Vegas lost Game 4.
They did, and now it's and then
I think a few games have passed.
It's 3-2 right now.
Yeah.
So and then we got Lakers beat Warriors in Game 4. Obviously they beat them out and won the series.
Yes.
After that, I picked right. Joey picked wrong on that one.
I don't know why I got excited, but I did.
Because you thought you put your Laker fandom, you still picked the Warriors, and I picked the Lakers.
Well, I just thought sometimes I get led astray.
Well, hey, I got good news because on the next one we already talked about it. Ian Gary annihilated Danny Rodriguez,
And I was right with that one.
and Joey picked that, and I picked wrong.
I just read the soccer one.
Right. And then we got our last pick, which, I was nervous about even adding it to the list last week. We talked about it a little bit in that soccer's just one of those things. And
isn't it like one of the only games that ends in a draw?
we picked Real Madrid. See, and that's why hockey's the best. They're an adaptive sport. They used to end in draws, and they said, no, not anymore. We're having a shootout. And that's my thing. Why don't they go to fucking penalty kicks, dude? That's some of the most exciting things in soccer. I get it. It doesn't.
Or it'd be hilarious if they did a 3-on-3 because you know how giant the field is. What if they did a 3-on-3 and they just had for 10 minutes? You know what I mean?
But that you gotta have. I love a winner. Mm-hmm. And the thing that hockey does beautifully is regular season. We do an overtime period and a shootout.
Yep.
Get a winner.
Yep.
Playoffs. We'll just keep
continuous
doing
overtime.
Right. So
someone's bound to score.
Because the thing about a shoot-off / penalty kicks is it doesn't prove who's the better team. Mm-hmm. It proves who has the better goalie / shooter, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes all you want to do is lock it down, right, in the last minutes of the third so that nobody scores.
Right.
Then you get a nice minute rest, and then you go right back into it.
And you get that point, the overtime point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a strategy behind it. You know what I mean? So Real Madrid and Man City draw. I'm going to give us a win on this one, though.
Okay.
You want to know why?
I didn't watch it, so let me know.
Because Man City... We picked Real Madrid,
right?
And they were not they were trading wins and losses. Not good. Man City hadn't lost a game in
we held them off
10 games.
So as long as they didn't score, we win.
It's a win, and it was a 0-0 draw. So
you heard it here first.
Wait, no,
we're different.
Was it a 1-1 draw? I don't know. That shows you how pissed I was that I didn't even know.
Playoff experts,
didn't even mark down the score. I was like, draw the fuck. All right.
Never doing this shit again.
All right. Let's close the show off strong. We got this week's picks. All right. We got some good ones. We got some big ones here, okay? Game 7, Stars Kraken. This is tonight or maybe it's on right now.
No, it's tomorrow.
It's on Tuesday?
Oh.
We're in a time machine, bro. This is on. I'm assuming people are watching this at 2 p.m. on Monday. So if you're on the West Coast,
if you're watching this on Wednesday, it was 2 days ago.
This game will be at 7 p.m. West Coast time.
Eastern.
No, Eastern.
It was supposed to start at 7 yesterday, and it started at 5.
Well, that's because it's a weekend game.
So tired of this. So
those weekday games, if you're on the East Coast, you want to watch a West Coast hockey game, you're staying up till midnight. But so anyways, tonight, Monday night, Game 7, a beauty of a series. Mm-hmm. Real beauty of a series.
Yep.
I think we're both pulling for Pavs and the Stars.
I want him to get a ship, man. And I have a soft spot in my heart for the Dallas Stars. I don't know why.
And you want to know, and here's the thing, dude. The thing with me, my mind is so easily swayed by things that don't involve anything that has to do with the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask Paris anytime this season or last season when I turned on a Kraken game.
Mm-hmm.
I am mesmerized by their jerseys
and
their color scheme.
Yeah.
Of the it is beautiful.
It is, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of our little color scheme we got going on the show here. And I'm not gonna lie and say it wasn't inspired, but I didn't intentionally say I'm gonna make our show look like the Kraken.
And it's hard for me too because my creative player on Chell, he got drafted to the Kraken. Okay. So it's kind of hard for me.
You got connections.
I can make it happen. Should the Stockton Kraken?
That would work.
The Stockton Kraken?
The Stockton Krakens would be a good one. But yeah, so I love their jerseys. They got the sickest jerseys, I think, throughout professional sports right now.
Yeah, their mascot's pretty cool,
Three colors of blue, 3 shades of blue, and then that little stripe of red that makes it all pop. Mm-hmm. They just got a beautiful color scheme. And I'm a big jersey guy. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That green that the Stars have, though, it's just, it's beautiful. I wouldn't even call it green. It's like emerald, man.
Yeah. I was listening to a show the other day. They got out the Pantones and they were looking to see exactly what the colors were. And they created some of their own.
Did they really?
Show. Yeah. Some of those, they didn't pull it out of the color wheel. It's beautiful. Seattle. Great jerseys. And I'm a Jordan Eberle fan. I'm not gonna lie.
I do like Eberle.
I've liked him since he got drafted. He was one of those
Yanni Gord.
He was that era where Edmonton had like 17 first round picks in a row. You know what I mean? He was amongst those.
Yeah.
And a guy who had a lot of hype behind him, and then the McDavid train came into the Draisaitl McDavid train came into Edmonton, and
I think is Donskoy still over there too?
I don't think so.
No,
I didn't. Well, at least I didn't hear his name.
Well, he was in the inaugural for
right.
You know.
But so yeah, I'm gonna go Stars on this.
I'm gonna go Stars as well, and purely selfish reasons.
After the game last night, kind of hard to say that right now because I feel like the Kraken are the better all around team right now. They're just playing with more gusto. Mm-hmm. But I think Joey Pavs is gonna pull them.
They were still scoring though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was 5-2. You know, but
and a lot of these games are just so high scoring. I kind of like it. You know, the NHL's getting there what they wanted.
It's absolutely insane how many blowouts there has been. You know, and
what do you got? Who do you think going Stars too?
I'm going Stars, man. All right, purely selfish reasons.
We're both going Stars on this, and again, I don't want that. Their Kraken are just too new.
I am a little upset because they lost me a chance at $200, but it's okay.
Bastards. Well, I just want to let you know you're not getting paid for today's episode. Game 1 of West Finals in basketball, your LA Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. Game 1, what do you think? As if we know, again, apparently we know more about basketball than soccer, so take that.
I'm gonna take the Lakers up on this one.
You're going to take the Lakers?
Yeah, I feel like I voted against them last time. I'm going to take them this time.
Okay. I'm going Nuggets on this one. I just think it's their time. I think, unless there's some NBA fuckery.
Timestamp it.
I'm going Nuggets on this one. I don't know. It's hard to say though, because it's like one of those things where it just seems like
where you just don't watch basketball. So you don't.
Yeah, I watch so many highlights. Yeah, it seems like they're all good all the time. Yeah. So weird. So we're splitting that one. Joey's Lakers, I'm Nuggets. We got a UFC Fight Night coming up this week. And this again is a replacement main event. The original main event got scrapped because one of the fighters, Irene Aldana, got pulled for a title shot. So moving into the main event is Mackenzie Dern, who is one of these. She's a white woman. Mm-hmm.
So we're not going for.
But she's
had her time.
She's half Brazilian.
Oh, okay. So
and she's very pleasant on the eyes. Again, big hype train with Mackenzie Dern because of her jiu-jitsu prowess. The fact that she goes in and out of a Portuguese accent. People get very angry with her. They're just like, do you have an accent or is it fake?
Or do you not? Yeah,
What is going on here?
Okay.
But the thing is she's fighting a young lady by the name Angie Overkill Hill.
Ooh.
And she's one of my favorite female fighters of all time. She's a real OG in 15
the UFC. 15 and 12 though, buddy.
I know. She's got a journeyman record. Mm-hmm. But she's been getting better. She's one of those because with women's records, you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Because they haven't been given this high level for that long, right? You know, for the longest time until Dana wouldn't allow women, and then he changed his tune on that, and then he got women in, and then it took a while for them to evolve. You know, when you have a ceiling on your sport, it's hard to get to. The guys have been fighting at a high level. They've been able to evolve for decades and decades. Right. The women have had a decade.
They've had some time or they've had to.
So now they've had to
grind.
So Angela Hill has been around so long that she's had to adapt to women. That she's a fantastic striker, and that pushed her through the beginning of her career. Then the women's side of the sport is evolving or getting more well-rounded fighters. She gets trades wins and losses, but she's back. She's on another tear.
Okay.
And like I said, with the women's game, you can't really pay attention to the record that much. You can. I'm not lying. Like, obviously the best ones don't lose as much, but a lot of those losses have come before I think Angie was as focused as she's just one of the people who's always had potential. Now she's starting to show it. They're giving her this fight for a reason, because this is her bridge. It's like, this is Mackenzie Dern, this is the new guard, this is the hype train, this is a high level, top of the top fighter in this division. If you can get past her, you deserve to still be here, Angela Hill. Mackenzie Dern, this is our Crone Gracie of the night, right?
Yeah.
Of like,
is she too much hype, or is she?
Well, no, she's had more fights. Obviously, she's way more active than Crone. Like, Crone's only ended up having 3 UFC fights and hopefully no more. So Mackenzie Dern has elevated her game since she's been in the UFC and has, attempted to become more well-rounded.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that she is Crone Gracie, but it is another one of these hype trains. It's like your hype has carried you through these easier opponents, let's say. Here's Angela Hill. It's definitely not an easy opponent. She is very beatable for a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Can you do it, Mackenzie Dern?
I'm going to take Mackenzie Dern on this one.
You're going to take Mackenzie Dern?
I am.
All right. I'm going Angie Hill because not only is she an OG, I think she's pretty cool. She used to be a freaking podcast guest on one of my favorite podcasts that doesn't exist anymore, called The Bone Zone.
Well, why don't you just marry her then, man?
If you're out there and you're interested in some silliness, go look at old episodes of The Bone Zone with Brendan Walsh and Randy Lidke. And she's friends with those guys, so she used to be on there every once in a while.
Oh, cool, man.
Made me like her more as a person, so I will pick her in a fight. And usually that means I just get real sad because someone I like as a person gets the shit kicked out of them. So hopefully not. All right, and then in lieu of picking another soccer match,
we're gonna do a fight night.
I picked another fight night, and this fight night fight from UFC from this coming Saturday, and this is way down on the card. I believe this is in the prelims, but this is an interesting one to me. Vanessa Demopoulos versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is a former title challenger, right? So she's very, very high level kickboxer, very well-rounded fighter, very tough.
I like that you chose these two because I love their names.
Right. Now you're going to love Vanessa Demopoulos even more because she used to be a stripper, okay? And she is not shy about talking about it. She jumps into Joe Rogan's arms in the fight when she wins fights. Whoever's interviewing him, she does the jumping into their arms with the legs. Like, she's very, very into her self-confidence and proud of her stripper background. Her mom was a stripper. They wrote a book about being strippers.
Good for them, dude.
Kept
it in the family.
And see, not that I deduce women's fighting down to their bodies, which some of you who've watched these first 3 episodes may think that's what I do, just because I've had to talk about nipple exposure, I've had to talk about Aussie breast popping up on the down step, and then now we're Vanessa Demopoulos in her stripper background. But I just like the whole story of fighters. I think that's the greatest thing about MMA at a high level. And that's kind of different from other sports, is in team sports, you have the team has their story. The team has their history, right? You might know little things about the players on the team, but it's team-based.
Yeah.
In MMA, it's individual, so knowing the backstory of the fighter, that's why the UFC embeds and all their behind-the-scenes stuff. I used to love, like, when Floyd Mayweather or Pacquiao fights on HBO, they used to do the, I can't remember what they call it, but they would do the whole series of 4 weeks leading up to the fight. I love NFL Hard Knocks, where they do leading up to the season. I love getting to know these athletes.
Yeah.
And as a singular individual sport, MMA does that. That's how you get people into fighters, is let them know what their story is, let them know what their backstory is. So it's not that I'm focusing on her being a stripper. That is just a cool part of the story for me of being like, I used to be a stripper. Fuck you if you're going to judge me for that, because now look at what I'm doing.
Yeah, now what I'm looking at.
And it's like, even if she still was, obviously I have no issue with that.
And she could beat my ass.
Get your money, girls. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I love the dynamics of MMA and the individual stories and the different backgrounds that people come from that bring them into it. And Vanessa Demopoulos has been on a fucking tear, dude. And she's a good fighter. And she was a good fighter coming into the UFC with, you know, her local coaches and things like that. But now she's shown promise where she's branched out. She's gotten some of these pro coaches, some of these veteran coaches.
Wow.
And that just makes fighters better. That's another thing you can see in MMA a lot, is when you see these guys come from their local gyms, they fight all their, you know, early career fights, they get a chance in the UFC, they still got their local gym with them, and then they branch out. And it's just like, because there's only so much.
Yeah. That
we talk about experience in MMA being huge. Experience from the coaching side is huge too, right? Because you're not only as a fighter in there they need that experience to see a different looks from their opponent, but from a third party perspective, the coach seeing how their fighter reacts under the big lights of the UFC, how they react against a higher level opponent.
And also how the coach reacts, right?
That's what I'm saying.
That's like,
so from a coach's perspective, there's just as much experience involved, and she has branched out and taken different camps with like different, you know, higher level teams and things like that. So I think the sky's the limit for her, especially with her backstory, all that stuff.
So who would you choose?
I'm going Demopoulos all the way.
Dude. I'll take
Carolina.
I was gonna try and say the last name.
It's a tough fight. I'm not gonna lie. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, she sleeps. Bitches,
just to be different, you know.
Oh, is that right?
Because I like Demopoulos too, but
because we're different.
All
right, that's our picks, dude. This is a long episode. There's 2 hours already, dude.
We spent a lot of time talking.
I'm proud of us. Okay, I don't care. Can you imagine when before I did the first episode of this show, I was like, I'm gonna try to keep it under an hour. Just try to be real, keep it under now.
We could definitely try.
We could try, but it wouldn't be as fun, dude. All right. Time. We're getting out of here. Time for the shout out of the week. As you know, if you watch this show, the shout out, my end of the show shout out is for the sporting, athlete or event that didn't get enough shine this week. And this week, I want to give a shout out to all 9 fighters in the PFL who tested positive for steroids last week. Oh. Just keeping it OG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Were they going against each other too? Do you think they should fight each other if they're on steroids?
See, this is where I, as a purist and as someone who wants to see the best athletic feats unaltered by man, maybe we should be testing for steroids. But also, if everybody's on it, you know, it's kind of like the argument for the MLB, and it's like the hitters getting all this from the 90s, getting so much shit on for taking steroids. And it's like, you don't think the pitchers were on it too? Yeah. You know, like, it goes both ways. Right. In sports. Yeah. Steroids going to help you whatever position you play. Yep. And if people are doing it, people are doing it.
Yeah, and it's not like you just start taking the steroids and then all of a sudden you develop muscle. You still got to put the work in.
You still got to put the work in. It's not going to make you better technically.
No.
Steroids are a recovery tool. You know what I mean? It helps you recover faster so you can train more. You can do these things. But yeah, so it was pretty unprecedented.
We're advocating for steroids.
Especially these times in MMA where USADA and like the drug testing is just
at an all-time high.
Yeah. So it's a big organization like PFL having these guys, and that's the thing. It's like when you're a lower level organization, it's like, and the thing is they're a landing place for a lot of UFC fighters, a lot of guys
who have been through it and stuff, you know. So maybe they need it.
Of course, and it should be expected when you have a lot of these guys who are on the tail end of their career, or on the back half of their career, right? Because when you're looking at this, aside from a former PFL heavyweight champion Bruno Capizzola, he tested positive, right? We've got Cesar Ferreira, Christoph Jotko, and Thiago Santos, who's a former UFC title challenger, all former UFC fighters, recent UFC fighters on that list, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are basically just like, it's kind of a IQ test at this point, because it's kind of like, oh, we're out of the UFC, don't got to worry about USADA anymore. Yeah, the guns. You know? And then your first fight in the PFL. Wah, wah. You know? Like, imagine that piss test when they got it and they're like, oh, we're still doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
dude, what about the tester? He's like, okay, that's one. Oh, okay, just one.
The cup is melting.
Yeah, two. 3,
The piss cup
4,
it's just melting like styrofoam.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to give a shout out to those guys. Just keeping it real, like old school days, MMA when they were all the needles.
Let them go.
Give us all the needles. And this is okay. We're gonna get controversial real quick before we shut the show out. Just like last week, we got controversial when we were having our sit down with the Iranian government.
Yep.
This week we're gonna have a sit down with the sporting government of the world. All right. You get some of these old dogs in here, some of these old guys who can't keep doing it, but it's their career. It's the only thing they can do.
Yeah.
Not everybody who's a professional fighter has a future as a coach, can own a gym, can do all that stuff. Let them keep fighting.
Yeah.
But let them be in the juice league.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? What's the harm in that? If it's regulated, you can still regulate the amount they're allowed to take or the levels they're allowed to have.
Right.
But you can have these guys still put on extremely exciting fights against each other. Don't let him go. Don't let Vitor Belfort go out there and kick Michael Bisping's eye out of his face. Don't let that happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But let Vitor and Thiago Santos go in there and try to kick each other's faces off.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're both extremely skilled. And as you get older, your skill and technique gets better. It's just the endurance. It's just the, other tangibles that kind of go as you get older. But if they're allowed to have a little crutch to a certain amount of testosterone, whatever the drugs you're going to allow him to take are. Mm-hmm. I still want to see Vitor fight if he's fighting somebody on the same level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
I'm 100%. I'm
Why
with
not?
on that. Yeah.
Why? I get it. These guys shouldn't be allowed to fight for the regular legitimate titles that these other guys who are supposedly clean are fighting for.
It's like that old Bill Burr bit, right? Where he's talking about Lance Armstrong.
Right.
Lance Armstrong, right? Yeah.
When they took all his shit away,
but
they had to go down to like the fucking 30th guy and give him the gold medal.
They were all tested positive for steroids.
What are we talking about then?
Right.
Everybody who's up in arms about, I don't want to see my athletes on steroids. Like, you already are. Mm-hmm. You're a fan of it. You've been a fan.
Yeah.
We just have the internet now, so everybody hears about it when they get popped. You know what I mean? Like, how many times before the general public would hear about these tests would MLB, NBA, NFL, all of them get the test results and say,
I just remember when I was a kid, the big one was Barry Bonds.
Right.
Oh, Barry Bonds tests positive for steroids, man.
But before that, you never heard it. You think it wasn't happening? No, it was happening. It's just, it becomes a point where the media in this day and age is the voice of the world and gets everything split second. Joey and I see a headline, we text each other about it at the same time, thinking we're going to give the other guy some information. It's like, no, I already saw it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's how it is. Like before Barry, before any of these, the high level steroids guys in baseball, they were taking greenies, little fucking amphetamine gummies and all kinds of crazy shit in baseball. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, but nobody cared. Nobody heard about it because everybody was dipping their hand.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the knowledge that we're getting now about concussions, CTE and stuff mixed with the testosterone, with the steroids, and the sleeping pills that they have to take, or it's some people have to take. I think it's just like a concoction that's not good. So if you can find something to limit the steroid use,
100%. I'm not saying that it's good,
but it's also like it's their body.
I'm saying it's a choice, and I'm saying it's not. They're in a business,
and they're going to do it.
Athletes are in a business of performance and recovery, right? It's practice and recover as well as you can, so that you're as close to 100% on game day as you can be. Yeah, and then after that game annihilates you, then recover for the rest of the week for the next one, right? Yeah. So
up 6 a.m. bag skate, baby.
When you're as educated as me and Joey are on illegal drugs, you know that the steroids, like you just said earlier, Joey, is like they're not going to make you a better baseball player. They're not going to make you a better football player. It's going to allow you to recover so you can practice more. Mm-hmm. And the practice is what makes you a better player, right? Yeah. And in that's across the board, right? The steroids aren't helping somebody in the cage. Nobody's on steroids in the cage in a UFC fight, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's happened before, obviously, but like nobody's on steroids in the cage. They were on steroids 3 weeks ago trying to recover from a torn labrum so that they could keep hitting mitts so that they can make it to the fight.
And I think like if people expand their knowledge on it too, because what they think is I'm going to take these and I'm going to get stronger. Well, and yes, and it gives you the possibility to get stronger, but you because as the user still has to, you still have to put in the work for it. You can't just sit on the couch and develop all this
from the cash on the couch. It's not even I'm going to take it and I'm going to get this. It's like, oh, that guy's cheating.
Yeah.
Because in that whole thing of like, I don't want, who cares how many home runs Barry Bonds did? He was on steroids. And it's just like, how excited were you when all those home runs were being hit? When Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, it was must-see television when we were children. I don't care how much you like baseball, if you were a fan of either of the Cubs or the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You were tuning in. They were cutting into shows with a little Joey picture-in-picture of whatever you're watching with an at-bat of Sammy Sosa. Because, this one's going to break the record. And then the next day, Mark McGwire had a game. Like, he's going to pass up Sammy. Yeah. Who's going to get, And
it still comes down to technique, too, because if he swung that bat a half a second slower or a half a second faster, he's going to miss it, right? He's going to miss it. So it's all perspective, right? And it's like, these guys are cheaters. It's no fun to see cheaters hit home runs. Like, well, you had a lot of fun until you knew he was on something. It makes it less fun. Let's clear it up. He is a cheater. Because if nobody...
I know, but Roger Clemens is also on juice firing fastballs.
But here's what I'm saying is like if everyone else was following the rules, right? He is a cheater,
right?
And so, like you said, make it separate.
That's why there's a crazy gray area, because there's also a ton of great players who have never taken anything in their life. And yes, I guess it's unfair to them because it's just like I could be looked at as a better player if that guy wasn't here, and he shouldn't be here because he's on steroids. He needs that. Blah 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 blah. I get it, but we're in 2023. Everything's looked at differently these days. And every one of our sports that we love has all become, it's not even 50-50 anymore.
No.
It's 60-40, 70-30 entertainment and merch to the actual athletic event.
Right.
If you're a bettor, different because you're betting on outcomes, right? But so I can see you, if you're a bettor, having thoughts about steroids. And
that's what's really difficult. One of my coworkers, he's betting on hockey. And he's like, "Oh, dude, I love these. I love the Boston Bruins." And me, right? I'm like, I fucking can't stand the Boston Bruins. Or
but it's like you love the Boston Bruins because you saw a pattern and you started betting on
they're winning, right? Or Sidney Crosby, right? Or the Capitals, like whoever it is. He's loving these teams that we hate, right? Because
from a different perspective.
We love the sport. Well, he likes it because he's winning money from it.
And I'm totally fine with that because like football's my perfect example. Is I don't have a favorite team.
Well, that's what's changed my mind to it.
I love football because of the game, and I love fantasy football, so it gives me a different angle to watch the game from, so I get excited for any game I get to watch.
And sports betting is what changed my whole outlook on sports in general, is because that's how I was betting was I like this team, I'm gonna go with them, and it's like it's not even about that anymore. You have to look at the stats,
right? You
have to look at who they're playing against, where they're gonna be playing at,
right?
It all plays a factor into it. It's not just because I've liked
You're right, Joey. See, here on the Bungalow Chat Show, we have all kinds of great messages. And we're going to end today's episode with betting is good. They can do nothing.
Reduce players down to a number.
That's right. Reduce everybody down to a number.
It's
and
not
a steroid milligram.
It's not Connor McDavid. It's a 96%.
That's right.
He has a 96 overall percentage.
All right. Thanks, Joey.
Thank you, buddy. And thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Remember, hit that 100 mark.
And happy Mother's Day.
Peak One Sports, thank you so much for letting us do this show. We're going to try to get you to 100 subscribers.
And I will fight Ryan Reeves.
No, if we get to 100 subscribers, me and Joey are going to do a shootout on the ice.
Hell yeah.
We're going to do it. We're going to do versus Kana and goal. And we're going to do a shootout.
Or what if we wrestled, but we wore like the old school leotards?
Well, we can make all these things happen, but we got to get to 100 subscribers first. Okay, thank you guys. This has been the Bungalow Chat Show for, this week.
Bungalow Sports Show, buddy.
How many times am I going to do that?
It's okay. We just got a big.
I'm not going to cut it out because I'm just going to monitor how many times until I get my shit together. All right, Bungalow Sports Show. Thank you, Peak One. Thank you, Betalytics. I remember last week on the show I kept saying Bet Analytics.
You did, yeah.
And then I looked at the logo and I realized it said Betalytics. Thanks, Betalytics. All right, see you guys next week.